Test, test, test. Big up to the viewers. The show is dedicated to the memory of Eesa Frimpong. Don't really want to be getting into any of the other issues, various issues with other people who've got. Yeah, we're not going to get into that. This show is dedicated to the memory of Eesa, and I'm not really going to be paying any attention to anything else. If anyone wants to support Eesa's family and the costs of the funeral, the link is in the description. It's a link to EDF Dower's PayPal, but I've been assured that all costs will go towards the cost of the funeral service. Yeah, for those who don't know, Jordan M and Raspect were on the they basically confirmed it yesterday. Cause of death is unknown, and I'm not really speculating on that. Yeah, just want to say sort of big up to his friends and family. People sort of searching his name, and yeah. Anyway, the donation link is in the description. Big up to the people tuning in. Big up to Gandalf the White. Big up Miss Gadite. Big up to Shizzle. Big up to Mr. Architecture. And big up to Eesa, man. I'm gonna get a video on from Jordan, man. Big up to Jordan M, and big up to yeah, big up Jordan, man.
Assalamu alaikum. Ramadan 2020 for me is always going to be remembered for the kind of strange, obviously, Corona time and things like that. But mostly now it's going to be remembered for the loss of brother Eesa Frimpong, who hours ago passed away. Details for me haven't been yet confirmed about how it happened, but so I won't put anything like that out. But subhanallah, still shocked by it. I had the pleasure of knowing Eesa fairly well, and we would meet up weekly. I used to meet up with him and Raspect every week. We used to go to eat together, and to be honest, this video would be very long if I could, the amount of good things I can say about Eesa. For me, he was a real Imam booster. His passion for Islam, his character, and I think anyone that's seen him at Speaker's Corner, anyone that knows him, always say what character the brother has, how he gave off this kind of this real a character of a Muslim, of how a Muslim should behave. May Allah grant him the highest place in Jannah. He will be missed. You know, I kind of half and half. I feel like kind of been robbed a friendship with him that was developing over the years. But we know he's in a. Allah chose to take him, and inshallah he's in a better place. But look, one idea that we had a few brothers have who have suggested it is to do a fundraiser. So I think me and Raspect were thinking of perhaps relieving the stress of the family for the janazah. So I'm going to leave the EFDAWA PayPal link in the description. So if you can donate to that, whatever you can, and please reference Eesa, and maybe put your message. I may put the messages up on my channel or somewhere, but yeah, it will just be, I guess, a way of financially helping the family with the janaza. And yeah, I think I haven't got really a whole lot to say at this time, other than I will really miss that brother. And I was blessed to know him, and I'm pretty sure anyone watching, Muslim, non-Muslim, whoever you are, if you ever knew him or even saw him, you would only have the best of words for him. So may Allah make it easy on his family. And look, he's gone during Ramadan, which I guess for many Muslims is the time when you would, if there was a time to choose to go. But yeah, look, I will keep everyone updated, and subhanAllah, it's a real loss. So Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. SubhanAllah, I woke up to some sad news. And the news that I got was that Eesa Frimpong has passed away in his sleep. Apparently passed away in his sleep. You know, that's how he died. And SubhanAllah, is shocking. Like, waking up to the news like that, you know, SubhanAllah. I literally spoke to Brother Eesa a couple weeks before Ramadan via Facebook. And we had a discussion, SubhanAllah. And SubhanAllah, you know, it's shocking to hear. You know, my friend, a close friend of mine, he WhatsApped me. So he messaged me. I woke up, literally just woke up, looked at my phone, and saw a message from my friend saying Eesa has passed away. Now, as soon as he said Eesa has passed away, I knew exactly who he was referring to. But I was shocked. So I said to him, look, I said, nah man, I said, you're lying. SubhanAllah. I said, what? I said, Eesa, this can't be true. SubhanAllah. Eesa from Speaker's Corner. That's what I was thinking. You know, and even, you know, just thinking about it, like, it's shocking, like, because the fact is we just never know when we're going to go. And you know what, like, SubhanAllah, is this blessed month of Ramadan, you know, any Muslim who, you know, any Muslim who's going to die, they would want to die in the month of Ramadan, for a fact, for sure. You know, this blessed month of Ramadan, SubhanAllah. And I just don't know what to say, man. I'm shocked, you know. I don't think there was one person who disliked Eesa. Even those who were like non-Muslim who debated him in the park or whoever he debated, you know, I don't think there's one person who didn't like him. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. And you know, my name is Eesa too. And obviously Eesa, I always saw myself as second Eesa. You know, he was the main Eesa. He was Eesa that, you know, he was the Eesa that everyone knew, and who was, you know, he was that, you know, that's why I knew straight away. I said Eesa. I knew it was him, you know, because SubhanAllah, no, he was a good soul, a good brother. And it just goes to show that life is so short that we just never know, you know, what's going to happen, especially the situation that we're in now with this COVID-19. And, you know, at the end of the day, it's all qadr of Allah. It's all from Allah no matter what. So we can, yes, we can look into, like, obviously you hear people talking about conspiracy theories, this, that, and the other, but the fact is qadr of Allah, and, you know, we can go anytime. You know, we can go anytime. SubhanAllah. Apparently the brother, you know, brother Eesa died in his sleep, SubhanAllah. So, you know, I don't want to make this a long video, you know, SubhanAllah. I don't know what to say. All I know is, you know, for all the brothers out there, you know, it's strange time. It's a strange time that we're living in, because it's a situation where we can't even go to his funeral. And I say we, I mean, like, you know, people who, and Allah knows best, but you would assume that it's going to be like a few of his family members and that's it. Maybe one or two real close friends who knew him from real young. Allahu alam. But SubhanAllah, I don't know, I'm shocked, because even just thinking about it, last year, Blaine Johnson, for those who know, cadet, passed away around March time. We all went to his janazah, and now we're in a situation where we probably can't even go to brother Esa's janazah. And I say we, I say people or friends, brothers who knew him from Speaker's Corner. You know, we won't be able to go. Allahu alam, but, you know, you would assume that it's just going to be family members only, because that's the situation that we're living in now. The times that we're living in now, where only few family members can go to the janazah. SubhanAllah. For whoever dies. Muslim, non-Muslim, black, white, whoever. Asian, Latino, Hispanic. No matter what background you're from, you're only going to get a few people at your funeral. And this is the reality right now, because of social distancing. SubhanAllah. So I ask and urge all the brothers and sisters out there who knows him, or even if you don't know him, to make dua for the brother. You know, I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant him the highest part of Jannah. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make his grave spacious and wide. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to have mercy upon him. And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make all of us remember death often, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said to remember death often. SubhanAllah. And SubhanAllah. Inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. To Allah we belong, and to Allah we must return. And this is a wake-up call for everyone. A wake-up call for every single human being. Life is short, SubhanAllah. And the fact is that even when we get back to normal, we will no longer see Brother Eesa at Speaker's Corner. And that could be any one of us. It could be any of us. Today, tomorrow, even in a few hours, it could be any one of us. Especially in a situation, in the times that we're living in now with this COVID-19. SubhanAllah. And, you know, everyone knew who Eesa was. And it's about, SubhanAllah, I've been thinking as well, you know, about legacy. How are you going to die? You know, are you going to, in what situation or where, you know, where are you going to die? How are you going to die? Are you going to die in an evil way or have a good ending? And I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to give every single one of us a good ending, because we're all going to die, no matter how, you know, we don't know when, but every single one of us whether we agree on the same methodology, if we have the same beliefs, whatever the case may be, one thing is for sure is that what we all can relate to is that every single one of us is going to die. Facts. And I don't shy away from speaking facts and saying that we're all going to die someday. A lot of people don't like to hear about death, but it is the reality. And subhanAllah, every single year, nearly every single year, there's someone who I either know or, you know, personally, on a personal level, or someone who, you know, I've gotten to know through, you know, who I know or who I don't know of. There's always someone who passes away every single year, and it's always a wake-up call. I don't know if it is for you, but for me, it's always a wake-up call. And subhanAllah, the problem is that sometimes we hear about these things, we hear about death, we change for a few weeks, and then after that, we're back to just doing things that we shouldn't be doing. Subhanallah. We're back to doing all sorts of haram. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala forgive us. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala have mercy on Eesa Frimpong. Because we all need it. At the end of the day, we're all sinners. We're just on different levels. Like I said, the brother Eesa, from what I know, was a good soul and was a good brother. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best. But from what I know, from the apparent, from what I see, from what I hear him talking about, you know, he mentioned about the Quran, you know, about him memorizing Quran in the month of Ramadan, you know. And that's why, you know, 'cause I didn't see him on Facebook for a while, and I was thinking to myself, I ain't seen Eesa for a while. And I was thinking to myself, maybe he's just knuckling down, you know, Ramadan's coming up. Maybe he's just preparing, like he said he was going to memorize, you know, a certain surah of the Quran. And, you know, even myself, I came off Facebook, came off all of social media. Obviously, I'm on YouTube, but it's not social media. But, you know, like Snapchat, Instagram, all those things, I came off. I don't know why, but anyway, it's not about me. It's about Eesa. And subhanAllah, I'm still shocked. I'll be honest with you, I'm still shocked. Like, I woke up this morning, you know, I'm still looking mashed up because I just woke up and I'm just shocked. So I don't know what to think, man. Just make dua for the brother, and, you know, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you know, make us take this deen serious, because, and just life in general. And, you know, that this ain't our real home. This is not our real home. You know, the life that people portray and, you know, things like that, it's all a facade. And like I said, brother Eesa was a good brother from what I know. You know, from what I know. And that's a good way to go, with a good ending. You know, what I believe it to be, you know, he was a good brother. So, inna lillahi wa inna ilayhi raji'un. Again, to Allah we belong, you know, and to Allah we must return. Assalamu alaikum. Just a quick message and advice, and basically is to do with the legacy of Eesa. SubhanAllah, what have you learned from his legacy? I mean, SubhanAllah, I used to watch videos of Eesa in Speaker's Corner, and there's times that I went down Speaker's Corner and saw him debate. And but more times I saw videos online, and SubhanAllah, you know, the brother had a beautiful character, and, you know, he had a beautiful soul. And obviously Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best, but we can only judge from the apparent. And from what I saw of him, And what I know of, you know, he was a good person, and he'll be missed by everyone. And I mean that literally. Like, subhanAllah, if you think about it, he never picked sides, if that makes sense. He was loved by the Muslims at Speaker's Corner and outside Speaker's Corner. And even with the non-Muslims, you know, such as, you know, certain members in gang, whereas, you know, us as Muslims, a lot of us, we had problems with, you know, members of gang guided the new generation. And with Eesa, from what I remember, he was loved by, you know, those members in guiding the new generation. Whereas, you know, even I myself had, you know, issues with some individuals, you know, for some, you know, petty reasons. And when I look at, I'm literally inspired by Eesa. Hence why, you know, I had to make another video, because when I think about it, you know, he was with, you know, some of these brothers, and, you know, some of these brothers from guiding new generation, and, you know, they all loved him, they all respected him, and he was a Muslim. So, you know, many of us, we might, you know, pick and choose and be like, you know, well, I only care about Muslims. You know, that's all I care about is Muslims. Al-wala wal-bara. I don't care about, you know, any non-Muslims or this, that, and the other. Some people have this mindset, and some people, like, they pick and choose, like, yeah, this non-Muslim's all right, and blah, blah. When it came to Eesa, from what I know of, especially when, you know, when it came to, you know, some of the black brothers in guiding the new generation, black brothers and sisters in guiding the new generation, he would be like, well, they're my black brothers and sisters. And that's how he looked at it. He didn't look at it as like, well, they're not Muslim, they're not my brothers and sisters. And that's one thing I learned from him. Although there was times where I was like, well, I don't know, and I disagreed and whatnot. Now I can fully understand why it makes sense to, you know, always look at your roots. And that's something that I respect about Eesa, that he always looked back at his roots and was like, well, I'm proud black Ghanaian African. Like, he was a proud black Ghanaian African. And that's one thing that I'm not sure many people actually realize, you know, which is actually a good trait, because even in a sense that, subhanAllah, it's very important to remember your lineage and not to cut ties with your family members and these kind of things. And if you think about it, you know, there's many of us Muslims who we don't have the same kind of relationship with our friends, or, you know, friends from, you know, before Islam, or friends from, or not even friends, but family members as well. And, you know, we have problems and issues with them. And, you know, we look at them a bit different because they're not Muslim, and, you know, all these kind of things, like, as reverts. And it's almost as if we just forget our lineage and where we come from, and that we're not proud Jamaicans or proud, you know, whatever the case may be, whatever background you're from. And it's almost as if we forget that we're black, and that we're black Muslims, and that we will always be black Muslims. And so that's something that, you know, subhanAllah, I looked at Eesa and I thought, I saw this change in him. And, you know, he was around, you know, other people who were not Muslim, but the fact that he can have this relationship with them was because, you know, ultimately he saw them as brothers and sisters also, because the fact is that we share the same skin color, with no matter, you know, what the case may be, you know. And he wasn't extreme in one sense, like, oh yeah, I'm just, you know, proud black African, that's it, and, you know, forget, you know, any other race. He wasn't like that. He was very open-minded, and he was, you know, open-minded when it comes to conversations and things like that. And he was around, you know, some brothers who you know, we might have looked at, and the reason why I'm saying brothers, because I see them as brothers. And whereas before it was more like, well, they're non-Muslim and they're, you know, and this is the mindset that we shouldn't have. We should always kind of remember our roots. Like, it's very important. And this is something that I noticed with Eesa, is that he didn't forget about his roots. And there was times that he will chill with, you know, without mentioning names, but some brothers from guiding new generation, and you know, people were. There was times that, you know, many of us as Muslims, as black reverts, we were like, well, you know, I'm just gonna stick with the Muslims and that's it. But subhanallah, Isa wasn't like that, and that's why he would be loved by, or he was loved by members of gang, um, guiding new generation. Um, you know, who we see as, many of them, we see them as disbelievers, but it's like he didn't have a problem because he wasn't like that. He was more like, he won't forget about his roots, and you know, he had love for the black community as well as Muslims, and he had love for the black community no matter what background, or sorry, what religious beliefs they had, you know. And that's one thing I loved about Eesa, and he was just authentic and real and honest, and like I said, he was loved by the people. And how many of us can say that? Yeah, we might be a few people that that like us, or yeah, this Muslim, and you know, all the Muslims like us. But what about non-Muslims? Like, subhanallah, some of us, we have family members who are non-Muslim, and we look at them differently just because they're non-Muslim, and it's like we only can chill with the Muslims or hang around with the Muslims. That's not right, and that's something I noticed and that's not to say like, oh, well, yeah, you can like completely hang around with them all day, because there's even certain Muslims you can't hang around with because their behavior, you know. So it's not just about non-Muslim or Muslim. If someone's if there's a person who you can't hang around with because they're bad company, or they're bad news, then you can't hang around with them, regardless if they're Muslim or non-Muslim. But the fact is, Eesa, you know, looked at some of these individuals and just looked at them as human beings and had conversations with them, whereas many of us will be like, well, I'm not talking to that guy, or I'm not, no, like, they're not Muslim. Why should I? He never had that, you know. And yeah, I was just reflecting and just thinking, like, none of us, from what I can think of as reverts, black revert Muslims, there's not many of us like Eesa. There's not many of us. I'll put my hand up first and I'll say I've learned from him a lot in terms of good manners, and having that connection with you know, the way he had his connection with his roots, you know, being a proud African Muslim. Whereas there's many of us, we revert to Islam, and then it's like phobe, kufi, and there's nothing wrong with that, but, and like hijab, and it's just like everything outside of Islam has completely gone. Like, we forgot our roots. We don't connect with some of the people from our community. We no longer recognize our lineage, or where we came from, our background, and things like that. And so, you know, when I think about Eesa, I think like, this is why he was loved by everyone. You know, he was taken in by every kind of community, you know, even, just everyone pretty much accepted him. So I think that's something that I've learned, from him. And he brought people together, if that makes sense. You know, he literally brought people together just by, seeing some of the videos. He'll have debates and whatnot, but at the end of the day, even if he disagreed with someone, he could get on with them. You know, and many of us as Muslims, we disagree with people, and like, I'm not talking to that person again. So there's a lot that we got to learn. There's a lot that we got to learn from Eesa. And yeah, sad news, man.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, brothers and sisters. Welcome to Salam Corner. We've got Brother Eesa, who's a regular at the park, dropping that knowledge. He's actually got bare knowledge, but he's bare humble. And then people like me who's ignorant, we talk a lot, but the ones with knowledge, they're silent. Anyways, so Eesa, what happened? I heard that you got into an accident.
Yeah. So I got hit. First time in 5 months riding my bike.
Wow.
On Merton Road.
What happened?
A bus. I was
You
riding.
got hit by a bus?
No. So I'm riding.
Is the bus okay?
The bus driver rode off actually. So I was riding parallel to the bus.
Yeah.
And he had stopped at a filling station to give the lady way, knowing I'm on his right side. So he's flashed her. She's at a blind spot. She can't see. She thinks the road's clear.
Oh.
So she's come out, and I've gone back and flew off.
One second, you hit the woman?
So I hit the car. Northeast corner.
Oh,
of
the car, not the woman.
Yeah,
Okay.
not the woman. No,
Yeah.
northeast corner of her car. Hit it and flew off. SubhanAllah. The bike's okay.
No, definitely.
Bike's
You look
okay.
much better since... Yeah.
Yeah, but
So boom, it's like a sudden, innit? Boom.
bro, it's crazy because everything does kind of slow down as well.
Yeah.
There's a bit of a rush of adrenaline as well,
Yeah.
going at speed. But then the thing that hit me the most is the regret. You know, when you think in my head, I thought to myself, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, I didn't do that. Like, and
You've
it's
got some
all
qadr problems now then, yeah?
Is it? Nah. But it's not qadr problem.
Yeah,
Obviously,
yeah.
it's
No, but
you
you
know,
can be safer, yeah.
I know I can exert more effort, and you know that if the angel of death, if someone says to you, your term is appointed, tomorrow at 3 p.m. you're going, you're going to exert every effort.
Oh, so let me get this right. Are you saying that you could have done more in righteous deeds?
In terms of
I thought you were
righteous
saying
deeds.
that if I didn't do that turn, this
No,
sorry.
that's
I should have seen the best.
So now I'm talking about in
okay,
terms
okay.
of preparing myself for the
Oh,
akhirah.
subhanallah, okay.
Right.
subhanallah.
So
Deep.
instantaneously, that regret at that moment of impact hit me. I was like, oh damn, salah, tahajjud, all of these zakat, everything comes to mind at that point.
Yeah.
But then it's like, khalas, that point is too late. Alhamdulillah, it wasn't too late for me now.
Yeah.
You know, I'm here, I'm able-bodied, I'm a bit sore,
Yeah.
but alhamdulillah, akhi, man. I was just one of the things that was also stood out to me was the helpful nature of human beings as well.
Yeah.
Like just in general, we have our different ideologies and stuff, right?
Yeah.
But it was very heartwarming that even though it was just a bruised backside that I had,
Yeah.
lots of people stopped, nurses,
Was your
doctors.
back broken?
No, it wasn't
Spinal,
broken.
like Mike Tyson.
Alhamdulillah,
back
when
is
I felt
broken.
myself,
Okay.
I was like, yeah, okay, everything's connected, no breakages. Alhamdulillah, it was literally just the bruised side that's swollen still at the moment. Yeah, but like I said, lots of people helped, regardless of, and you know,
there's some people that this kuffar.
Yeah,
They
yeah.
come to help.
Huh?
You know, this you know.
it's
some people's
funny.
mentality.
Some people that you might think come from like a cultural background,
Yeah.
and you know, obviously, I always I always speak with the pro-black brothers here, and I vibe for it a little bit myself.
Yeah.
But this is where you have to be just in it. Allah says, Allah, inna Allah ya'muru bil adl wal ihsan. Allah orders with justice and goodness.
Yes.
So here, in the justice that Allah's ordering, I just have to say, for all the pro-blackness and stuff, there are white people or people of different ethnicities and that have good hearts, that are not racist, and just at the general, like at the very core of it, they just want to help people and stuff. So, I mean, it was profound for me, and I just felt like, I had to share that with the brothers.
I'll share a story with me as well, because I got into an accident. Yeah, so basically, you see my hand, this was all burnt. Yeah, the skin, they peeled the skin off. Yeah, here it looks calm. I don't know, I'll show you a picture after. Yeah, so airbag exploded. Yeah, suddenly, boom, exploded. The Range Rover just pulled in front of me, and I hit his driver's side. Yeah, boom, and the airbag exploded. And for some reason, the chemicals were saying it burnt my skin all here, yeah?
The chemical from the airbag.
Yeah, bro, I jerked it. It's actually, it happens. So all this, bro, was red, the skin was coming off, bro. I could even see some smoke in my hand. Yeah, so That was the main injury that I had.
Were you scared when you saw that?
You see, I'll be honest with you, bro. Like, I don't know if it's just me, but with these things, like, wallahi, I'm not even lying. There's things I know I'm scared of.
Yeah.
But I don't know why I'm like this. I just go out and just like, okay, like,
Yeah.
like
Might have been the adrenaline at the time, maybe.
It might be, but with these things, I don't like. I'm very laid back with this. Like,
They don't really hit you.
Yes, I know what triggers me, like emotionally, what will get to me, and I'll break down. Yeah. But with stuff like this, bro, I've been in an accident. I hit a bridge once. I had my dad's van, and I went under this low bridge. I hit it. Boom! I was nearly flying out the window. All the roof went. Yeah, that was one. Now these two, I had two accidents. I had one last year around December time. Yeah. Both of them were Muslims. Yeah. Now this didn't hurt me. Obviously, I was in pain a bit.
Yeah.
But that didn't hurt me. You know what hurt me?
What's that?
Both of them were Muslims. The one last year, I was going to do a video about this. So when you said to me, I said I want to share this with you. Yeah. The one that I had last year, all I was doing was I was doing a turn and I went into a road. The guy was parked, the brother, without signalling. He just came out and I just touched him. So I tried to speak to his father because I said, look, if it's my fault, I had the dash cam. If it's my fault, I'll pay for the damages. Right. Yeah. Okay, no problem. Some communication happened, etc. Next thing I know, they're putting a claim in, saying there was 4 people in the car.
They're milking it.
They're Muslims.
Yeah.
They're Muslims. This guy that I hit, yeah, he came and said he accepted full responsibility, yeah. And subhanallah, I didn't have a dash cam, but a week before I did this second accident, recently, about a month ago, I just bought a dash cam. I said, let me just buy a dash cam. And alhamdulillah, he caught everything. I'm at the scene. He knows in the dash cam it shows if he takes full liability, yeah, it was my fault, etc. blah blah blah.
Oh, so he's on the dash cam saying that?
No, it's on dash cam, it's all everything. Yeah. And I messaged him and now he disappeared on me. He's trying to basically say that it was my fault.
It was your fault, yeah.
What hurts me is that this pain recovers. But as a Muslim, as a believer, yeah, you're there making false claims, the first one, yeah, lying for a few pounds, yeah? And this brother, you accepted liability, yeah? You know, like, it's clear, yeah? And then you're just, you know, he just aired me, totally, bro, just went and disappeared. And it's sad that as Muslims, we've come to this level where a few quid, a few pound, you know, and you're lying. And this is one thing that I need to mention, it's haram for you to go and say, you know, oh, my back, you know, like my Tyson said, my back is broken, spinal, you know, I can't walk. And you're lying. This is actually a lie. If you have an accident, brothers and sisters, you are not allowed to lie. Yeah? You can't come and make stuff up. Because when I came, people said, oh, you know, I said, bro, please, I'm not going down there. Come on, man. How am I going to? This is lying. That's yeah? Oh, my neck. I said, bro, I'm telling you exactly where it was hurting. My neck was hurt a bit. Yes.
The lady who crashed into me, she actually stayed. And she accepted liability. Funny thing is, like a middle-aged woman ran and she was like, I'm a witness, I've seen it. Yeah. And the woman was just like, I'm here, I'm not going to deny liability. And until now, I haven't heard anything for her claiming back. Yeah. And that woman is a non-Muslim. So you see what I'm saying? She is exemplifying a standard of Muslim character of being truthful. Bro. And we ourselves, we proclaim Islam, yet we're not living by the statutes that Allah has set in place. But I must say as well,
Allah humiliates us.
One of the things about these insurance companies as well is they act like predators as well.
Yes, of course.
When it comes to these things, even to me, have you got personal injury? Yeah. I just said to the woman, listen, I'll take an ibuprofen, my side is swollen, that's it. She's saying, no, but is there anything in your neck? Is there anything in your back, in your spine? No. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And just decency would just dictate that.
And you don't repel evil with evil, you know? And it's sad, man. Wallahi, it just hurts me, you know? And wallahi, this is the sign, because you know when the Prophet said that a time will come when nations will gather around to basically come into lunch, yeah? And the Prophet and the companion said, oh, Rasulullah, would it be small in number? He would be like your grey number. But look what had the defense. And he says, why would that happen? He said, because Allah will take the fear of death out of you and put the love of dunya. Bro, that's exactly what's happening, bro. You are willing to lie against, be it a believer or not a believer, for a few pounds, bro. Wallahi, that is disturbing to me. And this is the reason why, even in my family, bro, if I was to marry a black woman, wallahi, my family won't say nothing. My family are not Muslim. Wallahi, they might just say a bit like, you know, if it was Turkish, they won't say nothing. Bruv, if you're Muslim, that's why I did a talk yesterday and it really bothered me, yeah? Is that, and I've seen this, yeah? Dawood's here, yeah? Dawood knows, me and him, we went through the struggle of marriage, yeah? I know what he went through himself, because he's black. Yeah, who's being rejected and etc. Yeah, you know it, bro. You probably know it as well. Myself, I got rejected. I'm not even black.
Story,
yeah. So the thing is, bro, it's really hurtful that as Muslims, as believers, having good adab, we're supposed to. And we're the forefront, bro. Anytime you say Muslim, how could you come here today and say Muslim? And what would come to people's mind? Well, what's going to say? Oh, honest person, just person, truthful person? Wallahi, it's a disaster. It's a disaster, and we need to fix on it, brothers and sisters. That's why when he told me he had an accident, I was so happy to share the message, not because of the accident. So, brothers and sisters, may Allah bless you guys, inshallah. Eesa, barakallah fi, may Allah bless you. Any last words you want to say to the...
No, actually, just owning in on that point of being Muslim, it's a hal. It's not really. It's like your condition should be observing Islam on you. It's not enough, and we have to. I think as well, there's a duty on those people who are observing the deen properly to do more inkar of munkar. And I know that there's a small portion of people that are doing it, but it needs to increase. Some people are able to get away with these evil actions because the good people stay silent.
Yes,
and when the good people stay silent, that's when the evils, the shar increases. And
that's what Sheikh Ibn Uthaymeen or Sheikh Salih Al-Fawzan said. He said that if we do not enjoin good and forbid the evil, then the sin is going to fall upon us. Banu Israel, when they were told not to fish in the Sabbath, the scholars say 3 things happened. The ones that didn't listen, they got destroyed. The ones that abstained from it got saved. What happened to those that were watching? The scholars say they got destroyed with the ones who did it.
Taxis what specification for Tazim 100%, and it's like that, and that's what it is. But obviously from there I get the other arguments where it can lead to etc.
Well, I was going to ask
that's a slippery slope, the leading.
Forget, I'm not a fan of.
The leading thing, then everything goes out the window.
I'm not a fan of the leading, but what I would say is, in terms of like the ahkam and janaiz, this is like it's a more theme, and Ahlul Sunnah, or as far as I know anyway, al-asl fil ashya ibaha, the asl or the origin of worldly things is permissibility. But when it comes to the deen, it's bil aks. Everything's haram until you got a dalil. So I would say, building on top of the graves more than what the Messenger did.
That would require something.
Would that not fall into like bid'ah?
You would require, the whole thing about bid'ah is basically there's 2 aspects. Everything is allowed until declared permissible. That usul within our school is not only applied in worldly things.
Right.
So mithal, salli is you pray 5 times a day. Right. You can't add, you can't take away. Things that are what you call tawqifi, they're set. Things like, example, just talking to Baba right now, Mawlid. For us, if we're not saying that's al-juz of deen, and to do that is wajib, we don't consider that as part of the bid'ah definition.
You don't ascribe it to the juz of deen.
We're saying from the basic usul of deen is the Prophet fasted on his birthday. So it's a day that you can remember him on. Can you read Quran on that day? Yeah. Can you read poetry? Yeah. So you're not doing anything that's going against usul.
No, there's nothing except, I would say the issue is tafsir. Tafsir on that day,
and
to single out that
day. And I would say that as long as, even if you sing, even though there's dalil for it, like the Prophet remembered it on that day. So automatically that remembering of that specific day becomes apparent that he didn't remember that specific day.
I will not argue with anyone if someone said to me,
I'm only going to fast.
The Prophet said, I'm going to fast, and I'm going to fast every Monday. Because that is the thing of the Prophet.
That is the Sunnah Nabawiyah, no doubt about it. You know, it's methodology. Because the whole aspect of bid'ah, we say is that bid'ah is the definition that most people take, the Salafis anyway, they say that everything anything that's not mentioned, if you add it or take away, it's subtraction. We apply that in Tawqifi about things that are said.
Even I don't think that is the regulated Ahlul Sunnah.
I know, that's Salafi, that's Salafi.
Do you know what? Because I come from a Salafi background, so I would say I don't think it's a Salafi background.
You think maybe other scholars?
But do you know what? To be honest, I think even amongst Ahlul Sunnah, there's difference.
There's difference. Now we categorize it, etc., etc. The point here is that what we say is that if something's added or subtracted, as long as it's not in the Tawqifi thing. So if the Prophet said 35 times, you can't say, oh, I'll add 6. If now today I say, you know what, everyone gather together, we're going to do a little mawlid for the Prophet. Because everything that I'm doing by itself is permissible. If I said to Eesa, today it's wajib, you would say bring the dalil.
Oh yeah.
Me saying it's not wajib, me just saying I'm just doing recommended acts.
So your obligation upon me, that would be a bid'ah.
That would be a
That would be a
bid'ah. I
bid'ah.
made something obligation.
Okay, so what do you think in terms of the Mawlid, yeah?
Yeah.
Because I understand. See,
That's what it is, yeah.
yeah.
No, you're a bit Zahir, you're a bit different. I know. You keep clear about it. I know.
I see permissibility to celebrate your birthday.
As
Your own
normal.
birthday.
But wait,
It's
it
from
just
the
depends what you do in it.
Right. But yeah. But what I'm saying is with the Prophet, with the message of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, I have difficulty, yeah, understanding that it's a dunyawi thing rather than a dini thing. Because the ta'aliq here, if you said Ahl al-Bayt every year, they say, yeah, we're celebrating the birthday of our forefather, la bats.
Yeah.
But if it's just normal ashkhas, the only ta'aliq between them and the message of Allah is deen. So
you see the taqseem of dunya wa deen.
Yeah.
We don't do that taqseem. Our aspect of bid'ah is just this. You make something that goes against the asl of deen. And what do I mean by that? Meaning you started something, like I'll give you an example, you set a day where you're playing music for the Prophet. Music. Things that are not ikhtilaf. Not like another ikhtilaf music, but singing, celebrating, dancing, have a disco. This goes against usul. So that's a bid'ah.
Oh, what? The Shia school doesn't permit music as well?
Yeah.
SubhanAllah, I didn't know that.
Obviously, that gets technical with what counts as music, what doesn't. All them little debates, same as you lot have. But the main thing that I'm trying to say is that as long as it doesn't go against a established usul, we wouldn't say it's a bid'ah. So Mawlid, no doubt, it's din. Like, obviously, whether you say dunya, I get it. It makes sense for it to be deen. But as long as we don't add that, it's wajib. That's the main thing. Because if I say it's wajib, I've now added something to that. If the aspect's just, okay, you chose this day, the Prophet's born on it, do you have various proofs for it? Not harsh, not specific. General proofs. General proof, Prophet celebrated it. How did he celebrate it? He fasted, okay. Can you read poetry? Yes, you can. Is poetry allowed? Yes. Is making nice food allowed? Yes. Add all of that up, do it on that day, no problem for us. Unless someone says, now if you don't do it, you're a sinner. If I said to you, if you don't do it, you're a sinner, that's problem.
But when we look at the messenger of fasting, he makes the Quran of fasting every Monday. 100%. So why is it not that this celebration is every Monday rather than on a specific date and a specific shahar, with like balloons and colours and all that stuff?
We need to go to the aspects of obviously living in the culture that we live in at the West. If someone wants to adopt the balloon culture, which they've taken from a culture, again, that gets into...
do you know what? If it was for Eid, I wouldn't have any problem. Balloons on Eid, but it's just because it's what seems like another Eid.
Yeah, no, it's not, and obviously we say Eid fi lugha. We do call it fi lugha. Not, again, that's
like the birthdays are Eid fi lugha as well.
Fi lugha, exactly, yeah.
There's a lot of people that are Eid fi lugha.
Lugha. So when they say Eid al-Mawlid, al-Nabi, al-Sharif, people are like, how is it Eid? Lugha. We're not saying it's obligated from Allah or the Rasul. So we do it with that niyyah. So I think the methodology of bid'ah differs a lot, and even the Sunni scholars that have accepted it, they don't have that methodology of bid'ah, rather they share the same one as us. That as long as you're doing something that doesn't go against an asl, and you're not basically basing haram and halal on it, meaning if you don't do it, you're a sinner now. That's now me entering into the deen. Me just, if I say I had today right now and said I want to remember the Prophet, I'm going to say go on then. If I do poetry, but you're going to say, okay, why did you set it? I'll say I have a basic premise to set it because the Prophet remembered it. You're going to say, but he only fasted. I'm going to say, but the principle for us is until he negates it, it's
right. So what if someone,
it's flip.
What if someone calls to it then? We talk about obligation, yeah? But if someone says,
celebrate with us.
To his family. It's a Prophet's birthday. He gets upset with them. Why don't you
so we see it as mandub.
Mandub meaning?
Recommended, mustahab.
Right. So
it's a good thing. Meaning it's a good thing that you're doing. As general principles. And when you add it up, so me giving out food to someone is a good thing. So my mom's making nice food for his birthday. Eesa, come to my house and come eat. You're gonna get bare photos on you right now. Come to my house and come eat. I put the camera, not Eesa, someone else. So come to my house and come eat. I'm calling towards you. Oh, we're celebrating the Prophet's birthday. Oh, okay, you're gonna be poetry, yeah. Come to my house. You see when I face like that, you're gonna be like, not really gonna have too much of an issue.
Yeah, you wouldn't.
If I say to you, if you don't come, you're going hell, bro. Problem.
That's like
that's like bad.
Yeah, we know that. That's that person obligated it and he's made it something from the deen.
Exactly. So our bid'ah concepts are different like that.
So you see when the people do it, do they do it? You know, like the shitter. The shitter is like ta'adeem of the messenger, yeah?
Yeah.
Are they not seeking the reward of Allah by those means?
Yeah. So obviously there is you are expecting what I would from Auckland, I would say that you are expecting a reward, 100%. There's no doubt about it. So I would say again the aspect of getting reward and linking it and saying it's juz al-din to do it is two different things.
Yeah.
Because if you link them, it's like anything that gets reward has to be juz. It's just general principles to get reward.
But no,
You're doing the link.
That's the thing, though. Like for me, it has to be. If it's something that you're seeking ajr from, automatically it's from the amur al-din.
Yeah.
Straight, like. Even the amal of the people of the dunya. For example, certain things there are, like we say tawqif, but certain things are tawfiqi.
Yeah, Tuesday, yeah.
So whatever means you can use to for example, da'wah. Even though Ahlul Sunnah they differ, yeah.
I'm with you.
But I'm on the opinion that, for example, using videos, presentations and stuff to do da'wah is better. So long as it calls people to.
As long as
it, right. So me, for example, using a computer is not legislating. And the action of calling to Allah is
yes.
Right.
Okay, cool. So you've used something that's dunyawi to call towards the showing.
Right.
In a sense.
Right.
Dunyawi to call towards
the
cool.
Like the microphone in the masjid for salah.
Yeah, 100%.
Right. These things, they're used because of the.
So I would say we're using the dunyawi things to call towards something which we don't believe is wajib.
Right. Okay.
You see, the uppercut, the link's there, so you're using the dunyawi measures to call towards the Prophet's birthday, but we don't say it's obligated or legislated.
Right, but you say it's mandub.
Mandub based on general principles.
Right, so mandub. Yeah.
Mandub meaning, let me click it. Mandub meaning, I feed you food is recommended.
Oh yeah, Tayyib. Yeah. So
mandub meaning, I recite the Prophet's poetry.
So
the only issue really is you're saying don't do takhsis, don't specify.
Wallahi,
that's all it is really.
And
I would say
the nice clothes, the greeting people, being happy, all of that is mubah. It's just the takhsis of that day.
And I would say it's a aqlan natural thing to do takhsis. It's natural that you're gonna say, I'm doing this for my birthday. You're gonna be like, oh, was he born today? No, I celebrate every day. It's like, I get that is you celebrate every day, but naturally you're gonna be like, obviously I'm gonna do it on the day he's born. It's a natural thing, bro. And the Prophet remembering his birthday on his day shows at least some scope of acceptability to do something on that day. You're gonna specify and say only fast. I'm gonna say, bro, if I make food that day, what's the issue? You tell me if you fasted that day and to open your fast and your mum made some banging food.
But then this is
I'm gonna say, but auntie, why did you make nice food today?
This is where I don't like the argument, but this is where it goes. Where does it stop? It's a slippery slope.
Slippery slope. Use that. Logical balance. The logical balance. Slippery slope leads to the shrines.
I'm saying even if we didn't use that, we can observe and see people doing that all over the dunya.
Within the deen, with ulama, too much ihtiyat, too much precaution has made the deen stricter than it is.
Bro, you don't need to tell me, bro. I know 100%.
Too much precaution has made the deen harsher than it is. Don't do that. So is there a ruling for this? No, it leads to that.
Yeah. But you have, alright. Even though I'm cautious of people saying, it will lead for things that haven't done. Yeah. For the Mawlid, I can see it.
But
I can see the people going to the Qubur of the awliya, and they can dua to them.
I would say,
fasting and sacrificing to them.
I would say as a hukm al-thanawi, if you want to apply it and say, based on that, this will happen, you can use it. But I would say, if you've done a statistical thing, and you said, in the Muslim world, did the Mawlid lead to people doing shirk? You're going to have the evidence.
Bro, listen.
And I would say, even if you did prove it, I would say, for me, it still doesn't prove it's haram. I would just say, for those people, it might be. Again, depending on what shirk is for you and for me. For me, again, because going to the shop,
But, okay.
You see it?
Even though we might differ upon like dua to the awliya.
Or the Prophet, at least listen to the Prophet.
Or at least
Awliya is always, there's no nas on it.
So let's say we differ on shirk, because I believe, for example, someone does tawassul, with the messenger, it's a bid'ah. Which some people say it's shirk.
No, I think most Salafis will say bid'ah, they won't say shirk. It's the ghatha, they'll say shirk.
Right, it's the ghatha.
That's clear cut for you. That's for tawassul, even your own Salaf disagreed on it. And the best example of that is Ahmad bin Hanbal. Right. So a lot of the brothers that come and say, not you, but a lot of the brothers that will say Salafiyah, Hanbali, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal himself admitted it.
What did he say?
He said tawassul is allowed.
Okay.
And you know Albani wrote a book on tawassul. Albani, it's got English.
Oh I was
In that book, he mentions that Ahmad bin Hanbal said it's permissible. So I know for a fact that the Salaf disagreed on it. So when the
we're
Salafi
talking
comes,
about their means though, because
no, sorry. By means they mean of a person, not someone else's dua. Meaning someone who's passed away.
Right.
You say, Ya Allah, give me this for the sake of the Prophet. That to us.
Yeah, right.
That to us is more modern day Salafi will say it's haram.
Yeah, they might say it's a bid'ah.
Bid'ah meaning.
It's not the juice. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that doesn't graduate to shirk though.
No, of course
And
not. Of course not.
Right.
I'm saying even that the Salaf, some of them allowed it, like Ahmad bin Hanbal.
Oh, what's allowed by love of your messenger?
Yeah, Behaki, Rasul, all of this.
Yeah.
So I'm saying even the Salafis that
So
say,
they might have ta'ween, even though,
So even the Salafis that say it's haram bid'ah, I would advise them to say this ikhtilaf on it rather than be so strong.
Yeah.
Because hold on, if your old Salaf are disagreeing on it, why have you come to this conclusive argument? Because that is, for me,
I think that it's because this is
I know what that is.
the Bible shirk.
That's again,
It's
it's
the taqeed. Yeah. It's trying to, because, okay, let's say this is a mission of ikhtilaf,
Yeah, and it definitely is.
And you stay away from it,
Yeah.
It's not going to harm you. But if it's not, that may danger someone.
Precaution. Is that slippery slope again?
Bro, but okay, wala is a thing from our deen though. Staying away from the things that are mubah, out of fear of falling into the haram.
But hold on.
But
the thing is, with tawassul, okay, if I applied that like that, coming on camera, people will say videos, pictures, worship.
But based on what though? What dalil would
That's
they
the
say?
whole point. That the reason that they said don't make a video porting. People will look at you, start idolizing, and they've gone boom.
Yeah, but
based on that assault, everything will go.
But they've gone to say what I've seen. So for me, they've gone to tasweer now.
Yeah, tasweer,
is different from video.
Yeah.
Having a statue.
Yeah.
And we know
Or a picture.
Yeah, and we know from certain ahadith. That the sahabiyat and that Aisha, she had toys. That human resembling dolls and stuff.
Yeah.
We know like, everything that is.
But again, it's like the slippery slope. You wouldn't apply it there. If someone said don't keep a doll because you might start worshipping it, or you might start idolizing that doll.
Yeah, but then we've got a clear nas from the actions of the messenger.
Good.
That permits.
Good. And for tawassul, the ones that believe in have a clear nas.
So there's
You see it?
But I still, if I don't have a nas, obviously they'll
course, you didn't see the evidence, that's fine. But I'm saying, just the fact that I'm going to humble them lot allowed it, when I know that's a tampering with Hanbali works, because the Hanbalis are the followers of him. Ibn Qudama.
You're saying it's a tampering?
By tampering, I'll tell you what I mean. Ibn Qudama, the Hanbali Sheikh, the famous one, Al-Mughni, it's got a whole Barbara to us. What the Prophet trying to do to us.
That permits it. Yeah, so that's a Hanbali thing.
So therefore, the ones who rejected it are the ones that came later
after,
that followed who? Muhammad Abdul Wahhab. That's why before that was always disputed.
I don't know what the call of Ibn Taymiyyah is, but I would say the followers of the Hanbali madhab lean more towards Ibn Taymiyyah, including Abdul Wahhab. Abdul Wahhab's not really a mujtahid like that.
Fair enough, cool.
Yeah, he's an imam of that.
You made a good point. You said go to the root rather than the secondary guy. Cool. But what I'm trying to say is the ones that followed Muhammad al-Wahhab said no. The ones that followed Ahmad bin Hanbal himself said yeah. So when it's such a clear issue, you'll notice that people pull people up on it. Should we pull people up on subjects that have ikhtilaf in mujtahideen?
If the ikhtilaf is sahih, like this, it's
sahih ikhtilaf,
it's like there's clearly a nas here where someone made tawfiq of it and someone made it tad'if,
yeah. And that's exactly what's happened.
For me,
some ulama that have disallowed have had say something on it. The ones that say don't, they weaken everything. So the point here is that we've got now clear ikhtilaf. So the natural position would be it's ikhtilaf on it. Some say, so I wouldn't say bid'ah on it because it's ikhtilaf on it. But what I see that people doing is they'll do hukum. And they say you're doing a bid'ah. So then I would say to them, was Ahmad bin Hanbal doing a bid'ah?
But maybe those people that you speak to are not aware of the ikhtilafat. So not everybody is aware of the ikhtilafat.
Yeah, no, but I'm not talking about the awam, I'm talking about the Salafi scholars that say it's a bid'ah. That's where it comes from.
Yeah.
It doesn't come from the bottom, it comes from the top.
But those would be the people that don't deem those proofs to be sahih. That's what I would assume.
So that's why they'll say ikhtilaf. I disagree with it. They wouldn't call Ahmad bin Hanbal a bid'ati.
No, they wouldn't.
Why?
But they wouldn't also come forward because the reason why is
because he had his proofs.
But not only that, but Ahmad bin Hanbal is known that he's Rasul or the Rasul of Ahl Sunnah. And
100%. That's why I went for the Imam Shawkani. You know Imam Shawkani?
Yeah.
Allah to us.
Let's not.
No, 100%.
No.
This is something that most men don't know.
No. Shawkani's he's another kettle of fish. Isn't he? So we leave out Shawkani for now. Shawkani's what 300 years ago anyway. Really.
Yeah.
Like, so
No, but he's an authority though.
He is.
For a lot of men anyway.
No. Shawkani's one of my chef. But if you say certain things, to certain man, that yeah.
But what they're doing is,
You know he had to share it with him as well.
he was Zaidi first. He became. That's why Sunnis love him more. but the point is that there's clearly a valid ikhtilaf that one side's not showing. They're not showing both sides. They just keep saying it's a bid'ah. I'm like, for you it is. Why do you ostracize my faith? I'll give you an example. Istighafa. There's ikhtilaf on that as well.
For me, there's no ikhtilaf on istighafa whatsoever.
Subki.
Subki, yeah.
What do you say about him?
Subki's not one from Imman. I think Subki's got as well.
He's been refuted, but I'm saying he went for it, right?
I don't know about his views, to be honest.
He wrote a whole book refuting Ibn Taymiyyah on this issue. So what I'm trying to say to you is that clearly that amongst the early scholars, there's a dispute on this issue. Now my point is that you can say it's wrong, you can say it's shirk, but at least accept that, listen bro, there were scholars that were completely on the other side of the spectrum. And within Al-Sunnah, not Shia. Because they make it sound like it's a Shia thing.
No.
Do you get my point?
Yeah.
It's a sly movement. Because they'll say, Tawassul's a bid'ah. Okay, Abu bin Hanbal, he's excused. Why? Give him the same excuse that you give me then.
But is that the only statement of Ahmed? Because Ahmed has sometimes Ahmed can have up to.
But I'm giving you the tahqiq of Albani. So he accepted that that's his. Al-Mughni Ibn Qudama's. He doesn't get bigger than that guy.
Yeah. That's but
Imam Nawawi.
That's not even the.
Imam Nawawi.
Translation.
Okay, fine. You bring me.
Big up Ahmed Ali. What's happening, G?
Are you happy with him reading English?
No. I want him to choose one. I'm happy with that. I don't want no excuses. Because the last line of defense will be, you don't know Arabic. I know it. I know it's going to be the last line of defense.
Arabic is not that great.
No, but it's always the last line of defense. There is two defenses here. One, the companions must have known better than you.
Continue.
And two,
Your brother, are you the Quranic guy?
And two, allow me. And two,
allow the Quranic thing, bro. I'm not recording you. I'm recording them.
And two,
I'm recording Ahmed Ali's
and
phone.
two, you don't speak Arabic. That's it.
Continue.
That's the entire argument they have.
Fake religion. Quranic fake religion, bro. Quranic called Kafiris. Quranic called Kafiris, bro.
Are you okay with it?
I didn't stop him. Continue.
You did.
Carry on.
Are you happy with it?
Continue, please. No, carry on.
Okay.
This man believes
Give us your
only Quran, no
No,
Sunnah.
I don't do interpretation.
Kuf
I'm not
thing.
Sunni. I don't do interpretation.
No, I'm dead.
You like that quick jab, yeah?
Yeah, go ahead.
Quick one to the body. Right. And the first foreigners among the Muhajirin and the Ansar and those who followed them, by the way, English, those who followed them simply means those who
You've
came
done
after.
these debates on the hangout, bro. You keep going around and around and around, bro.
Yeah, I'm going to continue.
No,
Can
that don't make sense.
we stop the interruptions? Read, brother.
Read it.
Smack me, bro.
If I can go back. And the first foreigners among the Muhajirin and the Ansar and those who followed them with good conduct. Now, those who followed them with good conduct in English only means those who came after. It doesn't mean those who followed them specifically.
In terms of later generations.
In terms of later generations or after them, basically. Because they were the first forerunners. Anyone that came after this.
So you're talking about the word follow.
Do you mind my brother? It's me speaking.
Tell him
If you want to speak, tell him why it is in good conduct. If it is just coming after him. If it is just coming after him, why Quran specify follow them in good conduct?
By the way, I'm glad you said that.
You get
I'm
mad
glad that
people
you
who
said
speak
that.
his Quran.
That helps me.
Go ahead.
That really helps me.
What is the
They are
good conduct?
deluded.
If you make.
If they just
Would you just shut up, man? Seriously. You talk more than girls, bro. What?
Eesa.
Allah.
I'm not recording. Eesa.
Yeah. You've got your question.
Deluded.
get to that point. Why Allah
Is that necessary?
No, do your thing, bro.
That was unnecessary.
But you know the Quran is a delusion, bro. Trust
I-
me.
I- not everyone
They're
just-
gonna prove it.
Would you like to know what I think about you guys?
They're gonna prove it, bro.
No, but do I tell you about what I think about you guys?
Bro, we are a Kafir in your religion.
Huh?
You get me? So of course you're gonna think that we are cool in your religion.
No, but do I go out of my way?
That's
No, but as a grown-up, do I go out of my way like some random strangers going, these people this way,
What does
these
the
people
good
that way?
conduct Quran is feeling about?
What kind of behavior is that, bro?
Because it's
Even as a Muslim, what kind of behavior?
because
Are you proud of yourself?
Because we are heckling.
I don't like.
Are you proud of yourself, bro? Do you think that was good manners? I don't know you. Literally, you've never met me. Yeah, you're so comfortable making so many statements about me. Is that
Because I've
normal?
heard you speak, bro.
Is that normal, bro?
I've heard you speak, bro.
No, but if you've heard me speak, do I ever talk about people or do I
I'm
talk
just
about...
trying to call you to the truth, innit?
No, but see, according to who?
Walaikum assalam.
Now you're a big man, bro. I can't even admit when you're wrong. You know you're wrong.
I'm not wrong, bro.
Oh, really?
Your Quran is, bro. I'm not wrong.
It's not wrong.
Your Quran is.
Your manner is not wrong.
My manners
It's not wrong.
is
It's
debatable
very
in
inviting.
this part. It is debatable.
Your manner is very inviting.
My manners is
You're smiling, bro.
debatable.
Bro, you're smiling.
Because
Bro, you know you're
because
laughing.
smile is a sunnah.
Oh, really? You're not
Smile
laughing.
is
You're
a
not laughing
sunnah.
because you know what you're doing.
No.
Really?
Look, you're diverting. Get back to the debate, man. Get back to the debate, man. You're diverting.
Don't open it up for them.
I believe in the Quran and the Sunnah. Yeah. All right. So you know who I am. I'm a Sunni Muslim. All right. This brother doesn't believe in the Hadith.
I know.
But listen,
That's what I'm saying.
Get them talk,
I just
and
don't
inshallah he can convince him.
Don't do that.
Yeah.
As men,
No,
you
I
should be able
don't
to show
want
emotion.
no, we shouldn't. I don't want to know. I don't know. Eesa,
Okay, I
you're forcing me now.
apologize for bad manners.
Then I don't want to know. Eesa, I don't want to know. I don't want to know how you feel. I don't want to know.
Forget my feelings.
Okay, say that again.
According to the Sunnah, your behavior is wrong, but he doesn't believe in the Sunnah.
Eesa,
So what does he believe in?
I'm asking you a question about the Quran. I forget my emotion.
Eesa, you will never forget it. I
saying
know
I've
you, bro.
forgotten.
You won't.
So what do you want me to do now then?
You won't.
I said I forgot. What do you want me to do?
Bro, me and you have debated many times.
Forget the debate. That's not my question.
Your question is not a question.
Don't
You're
answer
trying to tell
question
me
with a
something.
question.
And the moment I dispute it,
I
my
asked you
brother,
a question.
the moment
I have a
dispute
view about it. If you dispute it, fair enough.
It's not going to end there.
No, it will end.
Let him make his point.
I just want to know what you think about fasting. If you say I don't want to
Okay,
fast,
cool.
yeah,
I didn't
I
say I
just-
want to fast. That's
Okay,
not,
so
don't carry
no,
the
I'm
me.
saying if. I said if. I never said you did. So what I quoted to you was a verse that says, when the month of Ramadan comes in, whoever witnesses the month, let him fast. I'm asking you, what's your interpretation of that verse?
I don't have an interpretation. As far as I'm concerned, the word Siyam does not mean fast. That is an absolute fact.
What does it mean?
No escape.
What does it mean?
See, I told you it's not going to end, is it?
Brother, I just want-
now you're
no,
interrogating me.
He just
No,
asked
it's
you.
not interrogating. I'm asking you. Have I told you what it means? If I said to you, no, that's what it
You should be
means.
proud of
I'm
your
asking-
belief, fam.
What does it mean?
I am
You get
not
me?
here.
The saying straight.
Bro, did I not ask you to
No, look, come here. I'm not recording your face. Look at the camera. It's on
Does
that side.
Allah, does Allah tell you to
told you
call
it's not
people
gonna
to
stop.
Islam?
I
No,
told you
because
it's
I
not
don't understand this. I asked you a question, and you are berating me for asking you a question.
Because this question that you're asking me, bro,
Yeah.
is going to create a circus. Look,
Bro, you're coming into the camera.
I'm not concerned about the people standing
I
around
am.
you. I'm talking to you, brother.
I am.
We're supposed to be men.
No,
We're supposed to talk about men.
Bro,
That's why you're here, man. You know what I'm saying?
manners, bro. You can't force me what conversation I want to have. You are. I don't want to have that conversation.
Now you're being sensitive.
I do not want to have that conversation.
Same. If you don't want to have
End
that,
of.
that's cool.
End of.
Don't talk
End
about
of.
emotions and being
End
men
of.
and then being sensitive.
See,
You're being sensitive
You won't
now.
stop.
No, you're
I
being
do not.
sensitive
You
now.
won't stop.
No, it's not about I
You
won't
won't
stop.
stop.
Because I'm being
I knew it.
No,
You won't stop.
You're being
Eesa,
hypocritical.
I don't want to have that
No.
conversation with you.
That's fine.
Can
That's
we
fine.
end it?
That's fine.
Thank you very much.
But then you have to take back the no.
See, you continue it.
No, we can stop.
Basically, just say
we can
you
stop
are
once you
deluded.
take back.
Stop.
No, once you
Just stop.
take once you take back
deluded.
once you take back your
Just
comment
say
about
that.
being emotional, then I'll stop.
Bro, what emotional?
You said I was being
No.
emotional, and then
Earlier
you're being sensitive.
Earlier on, based on what you said,
Yeah,
What was
what
my-
you
no one's
said,
being emotional.
I fear for you.
Yeah, I fear for you.
That's emotion.
Yeah, so I'm
exactly. I don't want to know about your
right.
feelings.
That's fair enough
That's
then.
enough.
Right, so then
and
don't.
I
right.
do not want to have this conversation. It's an intellectual decision that I've reached.
Fair enough.
Nothing to do
Walk
with
away
emotion.
then. That's cool.
Done. Thank you.
You don't have an
Come on,
answer.
fam. I told you.
I asked him a question,
It's
he didn't have an
allowed,
answer.
but allow it.
They didn't have an answer. Bro, I don't understand why you feign it. It's a lie.
See,
You're feigning. No, it's not. Forget.
I told
Listen,
you.
this brother said, don't mention emotions. Then he said, I love you. Who says that? You feigning emotions. You don't have that word love. You don't have it. You're lying.
That's emotion.
You're lying. You're lying and you're delusional about everything.
See, now it's insulting. Go ahead. I knew.
He's not insulting, he's saying the truth.
Walk away. You don't want to have a conversation, so why is he here? No, I don't. Do you know what it is? It's a double standard.
It's the UK.
You could walk away if you wanted.
You came.
You could walk away if you
So
wanted.
you came, I'm going to walk away.
If you want.
You came, I was having a conversation with other people, and you decided
Continue
to...
conversation.
And you decided
continue the conversation.
to dictate the subject, and I said...
Man,
hold on.
Emotions. I tried to dictate. I asked you a question. I asked you a question.
And I said no.
Question mark.
I said I
Right,
don't
so
want
that's
to have that
not
conversation.
dictation. No, dictation is a statement.
Am I entitled to say I don't want to have that conversation?
Dictation is saying you have to do something.
Am I entitled?
Never in any of my statements did I say you have to do anything. You have to do anything. When did I say that? When did I say that?
Can I respond?
When did I say
Can I
that?
respond?
But you didn't want to have a conversation with me.
I'm trying to respond. I'm trying to respond to you. I said to you, I do not want to have a discussion about that particular topic. That is within my rights. The fact that you continue talking on the camera about me just shows the level of manners and respect that you have. It is dictated.
You're not listening,
because
that's
you're
why.
refusing to accept.
Bro, you're not listening.
You don't want to talk to
my
me.
decision.
You don't want to
So
talk to me.
don't talk about me.
You don't want to talk to
Why
me.
talk about
We're
me?
in an intellectual battlefield right here. You spoke about me. You said
directly.
Yeah, and
I'm telling you, I don't want to have that conversation. So I'm telling you, I don't want to have this conversation.
Brother said he's got love for me, and then said ad hominems. You said I was.
It's all emotional, bro. Come back to the sunnah. Come back to the sunnah,
you said
bro.
here comes the ad hominems.
Yes.
Yeah. Then he wants to talk about you not having no morals, as if that's nice and that's love.
No, it is
that's
immoral.
love.
It's immoral.
Bro, love the sunnah, bro.
It is immoral.
You're standing on a double standard. It's not immoral. I'm in front of you.
It's
I'm
immoral.
in front of you. I'm not talking behind your back.
Listen, it's immoral.
Based on what?
Because I've asked you. I do not want.
Bro,
Let me talk.
tell us the
That's your
truth.
emotion.
Let me talk.
What, based on
Let
what?
me talk.
Brother, I've not heard.
Sorry. Let me talk. Stop interrupting me every minute.
Did
Just
Sarah
because
do
you've got a
magic
gang
on
over
you?
here.
Did
Just
Sarah
because
do
you've got a
magic
gang.
on you?
No,
I'm not going to respect that. You're talking about morals. You're talking about morals, and then you're appealing to people. You're being theatrical.
There's a reason why I said
No, I don't care about reasons. You're talking about
See, you won't
morals.
let me
No,
speak.
I don't.
Let me speak.
Ahmed, you cannot take moral high ground. You cannot take moral high ground.
Let me speak.
I will let you speak if you're respectful, Ahmed.
Eesa, let me speak.
If you're being respectful,
Eesa, let me speak.
Ahmed, you need
Eesa, let me
guidance,
speak.
bro.
Eesa, let me speak.
If you're being respectful.
Eesa, I am being respectful. Can I speak? Eesa, you're not deciding what's respectful and what's not. Can I speak?
I am.
Who do you think you are?
Okay, Eesa,
I
just
decide
let him
what's
speak for 1
respectful and
minute.
what's not.
Subjective.
No, it's objective.
No, it's not
No,
objective.
there is no
Eesa, let him speak for 1 minute and
I'll
let
prove
him
it to you.
get it out.
All right, no problem. I'll prove it to you.
Bro,
no
just what your emotion, innit?
I'll prove it to you.
Go on.
First and foremost, I said to you, I do not wish to have this particular
We're talking about
discussion.
respect,
See, 60 seconds. Are you going to let me speak? Are you going to let me speak?
As long as you got my
Eesa, just let him speak,
Are
bro.
you
Don't
gonna
watch
let me
that.
speak?
I know. Don't watch that, bro. Just let him
I
speak,
said
innit?
to you, I do not wish to have a particular discussion about a particular topic with you. It is within my rights, and I do not need to have to explain myself. Stop interrupting me. And I do not have to explain myself to nobody. That is an absolute fact, and I am morally justified to hold that opinion, to hold that position, because I'm speaking about myself. For you to disregard me and speak about me over to other people is disrespect and immoral in every sense of the word. See, you're so immoral, you don't know what morality is.
What's your basis? No, sorry.
Because you don't
said
have
it's subjective.
Because you don't have
Everything that you just said is subjective.
Because you don't have
Everything you just said is subjective.
It's not subjective.
It's subjective.
Did you have
said it's me. It's all me.
No.
That was up. Yeah.
You
So
said
it was
your bit,
subjective.
say
Brother,
yes.
I'm speaking about you, and I'm in front of you. I'm not speaking behind your back.
But I asked you not
I'm not
to.
speaking about
I
your
asked you
hand. So
not
what?
to.
So what makes that immoral?
Because it's about me.
So what makes that immoral?
Because I asked you, and it's about me, and it doesn't cost you not to speak about me.
That does not. It doesn't come into the definition of immorality.
So
Morality is about wrong or right.
Okay. Are you disregarding me and my views? Are you disregarding me and my views about myself?
You have disregarded.
Are you disregarding me?
We are both doing the same thing.
Okay.
You have
Cool.
disregarded me. I disregarded you.
So now you acknowledge you disregarded.
Yeah, I disregarded you. That does not mean disrespect, though.
Oh, so disregard is not disrespect.
Disregard is not disrespect.
Disregard is not
No,
disrespect.
it's not. Disregard means I'm not acknowledging you.
So you're not.
Doesn't mean I don't respect you.
Okay, so I'm not acknowledge. I'm not going to acknowledge the fact that you don't want me to talk
the guy,
about you.
I spoke, I asked him a
and
question
it's not
politely, right? He wants to talk about everything, but doesn't want to have an intellectual conversation. In an intellectual battlefield, that speaker's corner, don't come to me and say to me it's immorality. I asked him a simple question, but he's tap dancing around it because he feels that I'm sometimes trying to pin him down on something. I came to him with a genuine question about fasting. I came to him about fasting. I asked him, is he going to fast tomorrow? He said no. I said, Ahmed, I fear for you. He said, don't be emotional. So I said, alright, cool. I'll put my emotion in. What do you say about the verse that says fast? He says, Siam don't mean fasting. Then I asked him a question. What does it mean? He shuts it down. I don't want to talk about it. If you don't want to talk about it, fair enough, don't talk about it.
Do you feel better now?
Yeah, I feel better.
You feel better?
Yeah, I feel good.
You need to fast if you're Muslim.
That's the manners you've always got.
I'm around my brothers.
That's the manners you've always got.
I feel nice.
From now on, I'm going to speak however I want about you. Whether you're there or not.
Feel free.
I'm not like
free.
And I
feel free.
I've got class. I've got class.
I'm talking about
I don't need validation like you do.
I've spoken about you.
You did. You just did.
About you behind your back.
You just did.
Behind your back.
I just told you not to. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it does matter. You're present, brother. You're present. So talk about your back. That's not what talking about your head. Talking behind your back would be you not being present.
So what you're saying? So what you're saying? So what you're saying is? So what you're saying is, in order for you to not speak about me, in order for me to have my peace, in order for you, stop it. In order for you, in order for me to have my peace, and for you to not speak about me,
don't put words in my mouth.
Like children, you want us to fight over it? Is that what it is? No, but you're saying I'm doing it in front of your face. So that's basically saying fight me.
No, that's a
calm down.
Don't speak about me. You're being immature too. Don't speak about me. So speaking about me is not immature.
No, it's not immature.
So you decide what's immature and what's not.
Please do not twist anything. Please do not twist anything.
No, but don't lie though. Don't lie. Don't lie, Ahmed.
Terawee, come on. Come on, brothers. In Sunnah.
Go about your business.
I don't need to talk about you.
You just did.
I'm talking to you. I'm talking to you. I am talking to you right now.
Was that in the camera?
You are in my presence.
That's what I was talking about.
If I've got my head here and I'm talking to you, I'm talking about you. I'm talking to you now.
Yes,
I'm not forcing nothing.
You are forcing.
Ahmed,
I don't want to have that
you're just doing the theatrics.
I don't want to have that
theatrics. I don't know why you feel so personal.
Come on, brothers. Ramadan.
If you don't, you would have just
Quran and
Sunnah. If you didn't care, you would have just walked away.
Walk away for what? I was here, you came in. Why should I walk away because you came in? I knew it was going to hit it. I told you from the beginning it was going to lead to this. Shenanigans.
It led here because of
you're shenanigans.
You got too much of an ego.
Bro, go away from me.
Are you going to ask that question? That was the theatrics. And then he starts going left, right and centre and then he wants to start a fight. No, he started talking. There's no fighting. There's no disrespect.
No civility whatsoever.
Because he cannot answer a question.
Yeah, brother. Answer the question.
I can't choose.
So now let's do the theatrics.
Answer the question. Are you going to fast? Are you going to fast?
How do you feel, Eesa?
Are you going to fast?
That was a great theatre.
Do you pray Salah? What is the Qurani? What is the Qurani?
Do you pray Salah? I thought you were better than this. I thought you were better than this. I thought you were better than this.
Come on.
I don't care about your thoughts.
Come back to Sunnah, brother.
Why do you think I care about your thoughts? Why are you telling me about your thoughts?
Because I can. I've got the freedom to tell you about how I feel.
I don't want to know about your feelings.
Regardless of how you want or whatever, yeah, you're not in control. I have autonomy. Yeah, I'm just free to do what I like. I've got autonomy.
Bro,
just like you can say whatever
you like check your love. You need to check your love with our prophet.
Why are you not real with yourself?
Yeah.
Why are you not real with yourself?
You want to speak about real?
Yeah.
Then you're going to start following the Sunnah. You can love our prophet, bro.
Do you want to carry on?
Bro, let's speak.
You get me? Then you're going to start following the Sunnah.
Good luck for your Ramadan.
100, innit?
Inshallah. I'll fast 30 years. I'll make that
No Ramadan tomorrow.
Ahmed Ali. Sorry. Ahmed
I'll make that for you anyway.
He needs to come back
I'll make that for you anyway.
and follow our
Making that I don't mean you got to be a moral person.
Love our Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and then he's going to come to Sunnah.
How many times have I asked you not to record me?
I'm not going to
can't record you.
I'm recording the floor.
Call the police. Anyone can record. I was forcibly recorded here.
Sorry,
I cannot stop anyone recording.
Right, guys.
I'm just going to...
Yeah? Go.
Come back to Quran and Sunnah.
Because I don't want to give him that satisfaction. He's going to get...
Intellectually, you're not there. Intellectually, he's got no intellectual prowess. If he had it, he would have come back. But he's disingenuous. He just belied ayat and he's got no replacement for it.
For me, that's just intellectually distinct.
Shall we go to the point we were at?
Are you gonna stop?
Are you willing to continue?
Are you gonna stop, bro?
Can we go to the point?
I'm going to record this way. Ahmed Ali, go on.
Will you continue what you were saying?
I was just so happy. I didn't even go into the
Monday.
I just wanted to talk about the fasting. That was specific.
So what can we
And I thought the Quran.
What is following in good
I
conduct?
deal with intellectual people.
I thought people that
You have read the verse.
You ain't got no intellect. What are you talking about? I thought people that say they're Qur'ani, they follow the Quran, right? It's only someone said to me, this guy, he makes ta'weel away. And then not only that, he's making ta'weel of a verse he ain't got no ta'weel for.
Ask him about Ayah 110. Ayah 110.
Ask him about fasting.
He said fasting means sustaining.
He said they're very proud of you. Well done.
He said he fast.
You said keep my name out your mouth. You do the same. Do the same, bro. Keep my name out. Keep my name out. You don't have to. You don't have to. It's a request. It's a request. It's a request.
Why would you request
Brother,
that?
I don't even mind.
request?
You can call me
Should I
Eesa.
acknowledge your
I only
request?
said that because you said the same
Should I
thing.
acknowledge
To be
your
honest,
request?
okay, I'm just being a bit childish right now.
You're being childish now?
Yeah, I'm being childish. I was just what I was doing is I was measuring you and I was matching. That's all I was doing.
Because I behave like you.
Yeah, but you behave
You and I are the same.
You behave childish.
You and I are the same.
No, we're not the same. I met your behaviour. I met your
I have the
behaviour.
same swag on you.
It's all jokes.
Why are you
It's
lying
all
to yourself?
jokes. Nah, it's all
No,
jokes.
but we don't have the same swag.
No, we don't have swag. No, we don't have the same
We don't have to
swag.
have
No,
the
I'm
same
just saying.
swag.
I was
So
just
don't
matching.
say you did
I was
anything
matching-
that I did.
No, I was matching your
Please.
energy. I was just matching your
No, you
energy.
wasn't.
I was, bro.
No, you wasn't.
Nah, I'm being serious. I was matching
Was
your
I
energy.
ever the way you were?
Yeah, you were, bro.
Did you see me create a
Ahmed,
circus
that's
like
about
you
that's
did?
You're
how I
TT
view
academic,
your-
How is that the
that's
same
how I
as
view your
yours?
behaviour.
TT academic.
But is it fact though?
Yeah, it's a fact.
But is it, so I would
No,
behave
tell
like
us
you.
about your religion. Religion of just following the Quran.
No, just to win an argument, you're willing to lie.
Lie about what?
I was behaving like you.
Come on, brother. Yeah, I'm mirroring your. I'm mismatching your energy.
When was I behaving?
When you're being dismissive, yeah.
When was I behaving?
When I was talking to you, right? And you turn to the left and you're doing all these factions. That's why I'm not talking about the. That's the same thing.
Was that the same?
Yeah, it's the same.
Oh, that's the same.
Yeah, it's the same. And you've done it previously as well. It's not the first time.
At the end of the day, you're concerned about
Yeah, come on, Ahmed. We want
You can't read in my heart. You can't read in my heart.
No, I see facts.
Nah, you can't see.
I see
You can't
facts.
see in the heart.
I see
You can't
facts.
see people doing things.
I see objective
thing
facts.
online.
You obviously you hold the keys of the unseen.
You don't know what's in my
You
heart.
hold the keys of the
It's
unseen.
objective fact, my friend.
Objective fact.
Of course it's an objective fact. I was never behaving the way you did.
Listen, you need to go away and actually look at definitions, not objective fact. Everything that you've said today
Bro, we
is
love you.
subjective.
That's what we're saying.
It's subjective.
Like, come on, come back to Sunnah. You get me? Because the brothers love you, bro.
Bruv, how many?
Bruv, the only way that's gonna get him to come back is
How
Stephen,
many?
bruv. Stephen mashed him up, so Stephen's got to bring him back.
Stephen Sarah Guardian.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bruv, that's it.
Bro.
Intellectually defeated, and so he doesn't want to go down that road again.
Jeez. Ah.
Eesa.
Oh, Eesa. Oh.
You've used that line for 3 years.
I've not even
nothing
spoken
else?
to him for 3 years. So he was talking about lying for the sake of lying.
When
When did I use that?
When was
When did I use that term?
When was
When's the
Sarah?
first time I used that
When was
term?
Sarah?
When's the first time I used that
Answer my
term?
question.
When's
When
the
was Sarah?
first time I said that
Eesa,
statement?
when was Sarah?
When's the first time I said that statement?
Eesa, have you
Ascertain the truth in what you said.
Bro,
When's the
stop
first time?
recording me.
What's the
I've
first-
asked you 100 times. Stop recording me. How many times have I asked you?
I'm not recording your face,
Bro,
bro.
for fuck's sake.
You lost the argument.
How many times have I asked you? Stop
Brother,
recording me
this is
nicely.
what people do
Allow me.
when they can't stand the
about
fire in the
your religion.
kitchen.
Hell, bro.
Talk
Bro,
about your religion,
how
bro.
did 3 years? You said I've been using the statement for 3 years. 3 years, 2019. I've been using that statement since 2016.
Eesa.
Is that your statement? Is that your statement? Is that your statement? Ahmed, you talk about people lying. I know you're doing this
Yeah,
and
no
that,
takia,
but then
bro.
you don't have
No
no
takia.
integrity.
You know what?
You don't have any integrity.
You know what?
Whatsoever, bro.
Fuck this. You want to debate with me? Come, pick a fucking topic. Pick a topic.
Let's talk about
Pick a topic. Pick a topic. Pick a topic.
Come on, let's go.
What does the word Siam mean?
What is it? Imsak and ta'ami wa
What does the
sharab.
word Siam mean in Arabic?
Imsaki and ta'ami wa
English.
sharab. With abstaining from food and drink.
He wants a new word now.
The word. One word. What does the word Siam
Imsaki
mean?
and ta'ami wa sharab. That's what it
I
means.
asked him for a specific word. He gives me a narrative.
Abstaining, fasting in Arabic means abstaining, right?
that's my
Withholding from food and drink.
Okay, do me a favor.
Right.
Do me a favor.
Ask him.
Show me evidence.
Are you asking Islamically or?
No. See, here what he says. Here what he said.
The evidence are the ahadith of Rasulullah.
Wait.
The ahadith of Rasulullah, which he rejects.
So how did you use that against me?
I don't need to use it for you. I'm telling you what it means.
But how
from an Arabic standpoint.
Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, bro.
I'm doing
This
it.
is the
It's
level
an Arabic
that's
standpoint.
supposed to
No.
debate
Even if you regret,
This is the level that wants to debate with me.
even if you reject, hadith,
This is the level that wants to
you still
debate
have to
with me.
acknowledge, from an Arabic linguistic standpoint, from the hadith, that fasting means, because
That's a specific narrative. Is that the question I asked you? That's a narrative. Do you understand what narrative is?
if the people use,
Ahmed, allow me, man.
if the people,
For fuck's sake, bro.
if the people of the language use soul, to mean fasting and abstaining from food, that is the meaning of soul.
My friend.
That's the meaning of soul.
friend.
You cannot then interject some other meaning.
My friend.
What's the meaning of soul?
What does the word mean in Arabic?
I told
asked you
you.
for a narrative.
I told you. I told you Arabic. Then he said to me, "What is it in English?"
My friend.
Arabic.
No.
A soul.
No.
Imsaki.
But
And
you
it. Do you want me to go?
Islamic.
Do you want me to go?
You gave Islamic,
alright,
your
cool.
narrative.
So what we're gonna do?
I asked you for the lugha.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go on. Yeah, we're gonna go on the Arabic.
Look, hold on,
dictionary.
why am I wasting time?
Yeah, why am I
Here's
wasting
an
time?
Arabic- Here's an Arabic speaking individual.
Yeah.
Even he said, ask him, does he mean by language or does he mean by shara'i? So which one do you mean?
Ask him.
I'm asking you.
You
Which
said
one do you mean?
no. Don't refer to someone. Then tell me. I told you what it means.
It's a
I
waste,
said,
bro.
I
We're
said
not
it-
on the same level. Allow
Oh,
me.
let's debate,
Go
but
talk
I'm not
to
on the same
Salafis.
level.
Go talk
You're a
to
joker, bro. You're better
Go
results
get
out
some
of Salafis.
unemployed
Bro,
22-year-olds,
you're not a Muslim.
18-year-olds.
You're not a Muslim.
Go kidnap little kids with your
You're
nonsense.
not a Muslim, bro.
Go
If you don't
kidnap
believe
little
in
kids
Sunnah,
with
you're
your
not a
nonsense.
Muslim.
Ahmed, just admit it.
Calm
Islam
down.
got too
Relax,
much.
relax.
It just got too much for you.
That's
got too
right.
much for you. You got tired.
That's
You
right.
wanted to ban and do all sorts of nonsense. And so
I
you're
was born a Muslim and I've always been one, and that's irrelevant. Stop trying to make this personal. It's not like you. You're not an Arab. That's not even your culture.
Allow it, cuz.
Stop trying to behave like other people.
What's Arab culture got to do with anything? You're stop lying, bro. Listen, you wanted to ban. You didn't have excuse for it. Or then your statement was, oh, let's just throw away a hadith. I just want to do. It's not. Nah. You're a clown. This is class A clownery because you can come. How can he come? Let's debate. Let's debate. As soon as we get into the debate, because it's not going his way, he has to walk away.
Yes.
He's acting like he's got. Listen, I've said so I've said fasting.
Imagine that. He's literally.
I've said fasting. Is imsak and ta'am wa sharab. It's holding from food and drink. And then if you go deeper into shar, it also means abstaining from sexual intercourse as well. Right? But we're talking about the general thing. And I said from the ahadith of the Messenger of Allah, even if you have to understand that soul here is being used, to abstain. In fact,
an adult.
listen, Allah says in the Quran clearly, this is clearly from the Quran, وَكُلُوا وَاشْرَبُوا حَتَّى يَتَبَيَّنَ لَكُمُ الْخَيْطُ الْأَبْيَضُ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَسْوَدِ مِنَ الْخَيْطِ الْأَبْيَضِ مِنَ الْفَجْرِ. Allah says, eat and drink, right, up until you see the white thread becoming distinguished from the black thread, right? So then that indicates Allah is talking about abstaining from food and drink. If you have some other ta'weel, bring it. But I ain't heard nothing. Bankruptcy, muflis.
Just ask for it.
No intellect, no wahy.
Are you gonna pray Maghrib? Are you gonna pray Maghrib?
It's embarrassing.
Maghrib is
what's
now, bro.
left of your Islam? He makes ta'weel of salah.
Have your stuff.
Let's pray Maghrib, come on.
The very basics. Aqim salah wa atu zakah.
Yeah.
What's salah?
What's salah, bro?
I'm learning. All the
Give the speech. This is embarrassing.
Yes, give the speech.
And he calls himself a Muslim.
Embarrassing.
He's not Muslim.
Basically, people, he say he's Muslim, but he's not. To be a Muslim, you have to follow the Quran and the Sunnah.
I'm not even a takfiri, but I straight
doesn't fit the other.
Now,
you get me?
Man's
So
a
that's what it is,
kafir.
people.
Jump up and down and say, Kafir! 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 Let me help you out. Come on. You want to beat with it? Kafir! Kafir! Is that what you want?
Yeah, what I'm gonna do.
Kafir, Shia, Kafir. And the Quranic Kafir too.
No, that's sort of
Anyway, yo, pay Maghrib in it. Yo, G, pay Maghrib in it. Calm down.
In public, come up with something, they whisper behind. Nonsense, bro. Nah, come on, man. Allow it. Bro, I have no respect for individuals like this. Well, I used to love this brother. Yeah, and it's not an emotional thing. Yeah, this brother used to defend the haq. He used to defend the haq. No.
Why you being sarcastic now, bro?
He used to defend the haq. Up to, listen.
Come on,
he used to defend the haq. I don't know what happened.
Love me, I'll give you a lift.
Maybe Kalam got to him.
You got love me?
Kalam got to him.
No,
I don't know.
let me give you some
maybe
more names.
Kalam got you.
Maybe they brought him into that Illuminati pact. Maybe
Maybe David Cameron. Send me a text.
Illuminati.
Hey, I tell you what, David Cameron
Bro,
sent
if
me
you
a
want to
text.
hot yourself up.
David Cameron sent me a text.
Illuminati.
Bro, I'm too grown to give a fuck about any of
I got to
you.
rate you though. I got to rate you still.
You think none of...
I got to rate.
Bro, do you really think anybody's here thoughts can do anything to me? Really?
No, clearly not.
Really? So what's the point?
It's intellectual debate, my brother. Have you lost your mind?
You threaten these little kids. This is what's going to
Have
happen.
you lost your mind? It's intellectual debate.
You're threatening them with what's going to happen to them, basically.
What?
You're threatening them with this is what's going to happen to you lot if you question stuff like Ahmed. Is that what it is? What's the point of the shenanigans? What's the point?
Question.
What's the point?
Do question. Question the standpoints that you've been taught as a young kid. Because a lot of stuff that I thought was correct, I've grown up, I've asked questions, and I realised they're not how it is. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying
did they call you kafir? Did they call you kafir?
Don't be a kafir.
Wait, did some of them call you kafir?
Some of them call me lots of stuff.
So why should I listen to you?
I don't care. I don't care who.
You're not making any sense, bro.
Listen, he doesn't. Listen, listen. Ahmed's been taking.
You don't make sense at all.
1 second.
You don't make sense at all.
You want to speak about sense?
You don't make sense.
You want to speak about sense?
Okay, let's speak about sense. For 2 hours. 2 hours, bro. He's gonna take.
You want to speak about sense?
He's gonna take 2 hours to speak about sense. This is the mad debate you have in the speaker's corner.
Don't mash up the 30 days or 29 days of Ramadan with your Eid as well. Don't, because a lot of us are going in thinking, yeah, I'm gonna restrain myself from doing haram, I'm gonna restrain myself from zina, I'm gonna restrain myself from khamar, I'm gonna restrain myself from backbiting and doing all these things, yeah. I'm gonna restrain myself for 30 days. As soon as Eid drops, yeah, everything haram comes back flooding. Yeah, that's not the purpose of Ramadan. Yeah, Ramadan is a lifeline for those of us who fall off to get back on, right? Let's use it as a lifeline. And remember as well that, you know, we're here for this Ramadan, yeah? We might not even make it to the end. We might not even make it to the next one. So, inshallah, use it beneficially. And if you see anyone that needs a reminder, give them that reminder. The reminder benefits the believers, and we're all in need of it.
Like the Prophet ﷺ
I personally will be trying to do that.
Yeah. I won't be coming, and remember, just as a final note, just to add, the Prophet said, "Man istata'a an yanfa'a akhahu falyaf'al. Man istata'a an yanfa'a falyunsur. Man istata'a an yansur akhahu falyaf'al. Yansur akhahu falyaf'al." So if you could benefit your brother in any way, shape, or form, do it. And like I said, I'm probably, astaghfirullah al-azim, may not take heed to this advice, but I'm sure if you listen and apply it attentively, wallah al-azim, that's, you know, beneficial for me as well, because then you could advise me if I go off track. And this is the Akhwa al-Muslimin, the Ikhwan al-Muslimin. We have to keep reminding each other. We all go off track sometimes. We pick ourselves up. We love each other for the sake of Allah, and we'll continue supporting each other. But remember, keep off the online stuff, man. Keep off the online stuff.
And increasing good deeds as well. Help your neighbour out.
So we keep that brief. My brother Ali, أحبك في الله. Inshallah. So if you ain't got you on, you can't stop talking to me.
Nah.
So give me a big up for Bro Haji channel. Come on.
Yeah, big up Bro Haji channel. Go subscribe to Bro Haji.
Go subscribe Bro Haji. And remember, Bro Haji's here. You know, whenever you need me, my brother Ali, أحبك في الله. Love him for the sake of Allah. And inshallah, Ramadan, grasp it with both hands. Don't neglect your duties. And remember, make dua for me and your brother and the Muslims around the world. وصلى على نبينا محمد.
Big up to the viewers. We're just taking requests at the moment for videos that stand out to you lot. If you've got the titles, if you just post them up in the chat, I'll get them on. This next one is requested by the Wisdom of Young Lion Shahid, I believe, courtesy of COE.
And I know Somali brothers that are dear to me that have had this issue. When it comes to marriage, Hawiya can't get married to Ishaqi.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Yeah,
never heard of
listen.
it. See, you're telling me about myself now.
Yeah, brother, I'm telling you about my people that I know that are close to me that have gone through this prejudice.
But those are your people.
Brother, if you're saying you don't know about it,
no, those are your people, not my people.
I'm saying, do you know about this or not?
I've never heard of what you're talking about. I've never heard of it.
You've never heard that a family from one tribe in Somalia has denied another one marriage based on their tribe?
Never heard of it.
You're a liar.
Never.
I would say, wallahi, I never accuse people of bad things. But if you saying that, either you've lived in a hole for the last 40 years,
my friend,
or you're lying.
You're coming and telling me about my people.
I'm telling you about your people. I'm saying wallahi.
No,
if you want next, they're over then leave. Wallahi, I stand in front of the camera, brother. Wallahi, brother, sorry. You're not wrong. Brother, I'll come. Listen, my brothers, Mahmoud. Do you know how many? Don't tell me, bro.
Ask any other Somali brother. It happened everywhere, brother.
I will show you.
It happened in Saudi Arabia. It happened in Egypt. It happened in every country. Some people wouldn't accept another race or another tribe or another color or another. It happened everywhere. So if he denied in Somali, he's wrong.
Content over everything.
They have to empower themselves first. They must take ownership of themselves, of their field, of their destiny, instead of someone else doing it for them. Otherwise, we've been here 60 years ago, 100 years ago, it will be back again. 50, 100 years ago, it will be in the same place.
So what is your disagreement with the brother speaking? Because they obviously walked off quite upset. What was your disagreement that made him walk off?
My disagreement, the company is on here. My disagreement is, he's grown up in this environment. It is impersonal, it is atomized, it's very individualistic, yeah? Environment he was working is a work environment, it is a formal environment, there are formal channels, and I cannot understand why he cannot harden himself and learn and adapt himself to the environment. Why is he expecting a woman, just because she's of the same faith as him, to help him out?
Here's what he's saying, right? Is this, if he's saying he can express himself better than me, but he's saying that there's issues going on in collective Muslim communities, and in those collective Muslim communities, the people from the people from Somalia, Nigeria, Niger, Chad, these darker toned people who they're called sub-Saharan Africans, whatever, right? Those people are being mistreated, and no one is speaking about or even trying to sort it out. So when he tries to speak in favor of trying to do that, he's getting a backlash from everyone saying, don't speak this way. And he might even say that this jump from the shadows and say, leave Islam out of it when he was talking about Islam as part of it. As in, when he's actually trying to be something constructive and talk about black people mistreated amongst Muslim groups, for you to jump in, the first thing you say is Islam is free from this. Well, we all know that, don't we? I mean, that's given, isn't it? Really?
It's not we.
Do you agree with that concept?
No, I disagree with it.
So you disagree that Islam is free from this?
Yes. Islam is free from it.
So because we know this, if we keep repeating it, it's kind of like a waste of the story.
It's not we. I don't know what you know. You don't know what I know.
Why are you arguing on that point? No one's arguing about Islam being racist. He never said that. The brother never said that. I'm not saying that.
He just
no one's saying that. We're saying Muslims. Exactly, Muslims. Muslims are not Islam. Islam is in the book. It is theological. Yeah.
Yes.
If Muslims either implement that, either they implement it or they don't. Yeah. The way of life doesn't become a man that comes out of the Quran and starts living and walking. What
is your issue with black Muslim per se?
We're not talking about black Muslims. We're talking about, brother, his angle is, black Muslims should help themselves. The brother's angle is, black Muslims, get scrutiny, and they are demonized and they get discrimination by way of other Muslims, People testifying and saying that they're the flag bearers, of this system, this being, this way of life that we say is perfect. By them saying that, they do a discredit and a dishonor to Islam when there is clear guidelines and rhetoric which is anti-racist or anti-prejudice. And by declaring that you are following Islam, not actually following Islam, you're giving someone a wrong view of Islam and turning people away from it. Now, you're saying, Muslims is personal. What you should be saying is, actually, the Messenger of Allah forbade this sort of behavior. That's what you should be saying. As a Muslim,
it goes without saying.
As a Muslim,
It
you
goes
should
without
be
saying.
you should be ordering the good and prohibiting the evil.
goes
Not
without
saying
saying.
this, not deflecting and saying it's a general issue.
It goes without saying.
Brother, it doesn't go without saying because
Goes
we have
without
racist
saying.
Muslims. So you can't say it goes without saying.
Those who are racist, that is their problem.
Brother,
why should it be my problem?
You're doing exactly what I said to you. You shouldn't do.
No.
You're deflecting. You're saying it's not my problem. It is your problem.
It is their problem.
Brother,
not
it's
mine.
your problem.
I'm not a racist
Brother,
towards blacks
you from-
and whites.
you-
So why should I take on
Brother,
the problems of someone else?
You're from Somalia.
Yes.
If you don't mind me asking, what tribe are you?
It's got nothing to do with you.
Right. See, deflection, brother.
The problem is,
okay,
it's my
clear.
tribe. Why
Okay,
has it got to
fine.
do with you?
Like I was saying to the brother off camera, yeah? It's, and I know Somali brothers that are dear to me that have had this issue. When it comes to marriage, Hawiyah can't get married to Ishaqi.
Never heard of it. Never heard of it.
Yeah, brother,
Never heard of
listen.
it. See, you are telling me about myself now.
Yeah, brother, I'm telling you about my people that I know that are close to me that have gone through this prejudice.
those
And
are
if
your
you're,
people.
brother, if you're saying you don't know about it,
No, those are your
then
people,
you're,
not
brother,
my people.
I'm saying, do you know about this or not?
I've never heard of what you're talking about. I've never heard of it.
You've never heard
Never
that
heard
a
of
family,
it.
from
Never.
one tribe in Somalia has denied another one marriage based on their tribe.
Never heard of it.
You're a liar.
Never.
I would
are
say,
lying.
wallahi, I never accuse people of bad things. But if you saying that, yeah, either you've lived in a hole for the last 40 years,
My friend,
or you're lying.
You're coming and telling me about
Wallahi,
my people.
I'm telling you
You're
about your
saying,
people.
wallahi,
I'm saying wallahi.
No, that's
if
not-
you want
that's
next,
not-
they're
that's
over then leave. Wallahi, I stand in front of the camera, brother. Wallahi, brother, sorry.
You're not wrong.
Brother, I'll come. Listen, my brothers, Mahmoud. Do you know how many? Don't tell me, bro.
Ask any Somali. Ask any other Somali brother. It happened everywhere, brother.
I will show you.
It happened in Saudi
I will show
Arabia.
you
It happened in
forums
Egypt. It happened in every country. Some people wouldn't accept another race or another tribe or another color or another. It happened everywhere. So if he denied in Somali, he's wrong. Because it happened. I tell you, in Egypt it happened. It happened in Saudi. It happened in Pakistani. It happened everywhere. So if he's fair, he say yes, it happened. But to deny it completely, he's wrong.
Personally, I know, and I don't even want to go into it. I know someone, who went through a marriage process, and he was trying to marry a Kurdish sister. Imagine, the Kurdish sister, her older sister, had been honor killed. She'd been honor killed, and stuffed in a suitcase, in Birmingham. Not for marrying even outside of her country, just for the sake that she married outside of her tribe.
Of a race,
Another Kurdish man from another tribe. So imagine me or another black brother trying to come through, and ask on the basis of religion, on the basis of some sort of religious relationship, some community spirit that we should have. And a man looks at you and says, "You got too much melanin in your skin. Get out from here. You're a monkey. You're like all these sort of negative." Brother, it gets me. That attitude there, because I will always listen to someone try and give their point of view. Some people live in a way of life where they haven't experienced certain discrimination. But when there's discrimination that is clear, laid out, and you're gonna tell me, brother, as a senior, and someone who demands respect, brother, you don't get no respect from me, bro. It's bait. When I ask you, you don't want to tell me your tribe because you know. Why are you hesitant to tell me what tribe you're from? I'll tell you now, bro. I'm Ashanti. You see in Ghana, Ashanti man have beef with a Fenty man. I'm not saying it's something, but I'll say to you, amongst us, we have tribalism is the oldest sort of. I think it's a disease amongst us. It doesn't allow us to a certain extent as well. Cultures are always good, insofar as they don't cause infighting. But these people, these are the problem. This is why racism won't leave our ummah, because people are gonna stand here and say there ain't no racism. But you are the biggest part of the problem. He's gonna have a son, or he might have children, that have gone through that discrimination that I'm talking about. But because he wants to stand in front of a camera and win an argument, he's gonna deny it, bro. That's
أخي سيد الحديث, the Prophet when he said, إن جاءكم من ترضون دينه وحسن خلقه فزوجوه. If someone come to you and you accept his manners, give him the woman.
I wanna get the brother back in front of the camera, brother, to be honest. I want to get the brother back in front of the camera. Let me.
Which one?
Yeah,
He's there.
The first one, where is he?
With the hat. The first one, you're getting back because he was quite upset. That's what I'm saying. Sometimes when you try to fix things, you get certain people. They don't want to. They're more about taking the conversation somewhere else. You can't really fix things in that sense. So I don't know. Absolutely crazy. I can't say. I'm just a medium, man. I can't really say much here, man. Where is he? Is he gone?
Brother, in Egypt, north of Egypt, wouldn't allow people to marry from the south. Upper Egypt.
Why is that?
They're stupid, ignorant.
But what is wrong with the ones at the south? What's wrong with
the south are Kul Saidi, very stubborn mind, very strict. And the north are more, I don't know what to call it, like relaxed. Right. So they will never accept that, and this not accept that. But this is not in Islam. It's not color. They are both of them maybe same color, but south against north. And it happens in Saudi Arabia, tribes, if you're Assyri or Ghamdi or whatever, who are you? So it exists. When there's a problem, we have to acknowledge it and face it, but not to put under carpet. If you say Somali are not all of them perfect, no, I don't accept that. No nationality is perfect. No religion is perfect. There's some, and you have to face it.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously a history going on here, this back and forth and tribe and so forth. But I'm very clear for my message, right? If you're at the bottom, you can't control what the top is doing. So you have to focus on yourself at the bottom and build up. That's just basic collective, strategy. That's all it is. So I mean, I don't know where the brothers are going. Obviously, people got heated and walked away.
Eesa want to bring the Somali brother.
No, he's coming back still.
Yeah.
I was hesitant, to come on camera, because I don't like to show. I don't like to show other communities inside fighting. Yeah, I come from the generation of you sort things inside.
I agree.
Yeah, before you bring it out. Yeah.
But I don't think you can though. I don't think if you don't make this kind of step now, it's going to carry on. You see what I'm saying? But you see, when you first met me, I was very consistent. The key has to come from the people who are mistreated or feel mistreated, collectively come together to better the experience, because it's not going to come from the top coming down. It never has. There's no history where that's happened. If you can show me that history, and I go, okay, let's go for that model. But it's never happened.
If I'm to accept that though, that would be me accepting the fact that the masses, because the black, I don't know how much the majority or the percentage of blacks are in Islam, but that's for me to say that's for me to lose hope in my brothers, that they can understand or fathom the fact that they should not be racially prejudiced and implement systems against their fellow black brothers.
You're from the Muslim collective. I understand that you're tied there and it's beautiful and you love it, but this same thing I see in every single culture, no matter what it is, no matter what religion, no matter what it is, it's this kind of psychological conditioning to ignore the darker skinned people and not include them. And to me, I'm not even saying it's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying that once you realize it, that those people have to come together to better themselves. And we can't use religion and other stuff to divide us because the others are not doing it. You see? That's why I come to whether you're Christian, Muslim, atheist, it doesn't bother me. As long as you want to be constructive.
Salam alaikum.
Here was back.
Alright, listen, I walked away because I found myself becoming frustrated, and in the space of Speaker's Corner, it is very, very important that the Muslim acts as an ambassador for the Deen of Islam. Yeah? And if I'm here to invite people to the Deen of Islam, I must do it first with my behavior. First and foremost. Yeah? So I'm not gonna embarrass myself, because in this moment in time I am an ambassador of the Deen of Islam. And if I embarrass myself, I will embarrass the Deen of Islam. I'm not here to do that. Yeah, that's why I walked away. So I don't want anyone to say, oh, you're running away, or you let the older bully you, or anything like that. I walked away because that is a sensible thing to do in that moment. Yeah, in that moment that was the right thing to do. Now, I've had many conversations in this park today about the subject of racism amongst the Muslims. Yeah, not racism in the Deen, because there is zero racism amongst the Quran and the Sunnah. But the Muslim the mechanic, the butcher, the teacher, the policeman, the sheikh, the malik, the emir, the sultan that came before the emir, the Muslim, the man, he is deeply racist. Deeply, and I say man specifically, because our sisters are far more sensible than us, especially the Somali sister. God bless the Somali sister. Yeah, because when I went to those protests about Libya, yeah, I did not see one of my Somali brothers, not one. I did not see any brother from Nigeria, not one. No brother from Sudan, not one. But the sister, I saw a hella sisters, yeah, because those sisters, they're better than us. You know why? Because not only do they carry the weight of this, yeah, and I say weight, yeah, because it's heavy on our skin. And it's heavy on our skin because it's not black, it's not brown, it's gold. It's a 24 carat gold, yeah, and it weighs heavy on our skin, yeah. And if you don't feel that weight, you are simply not qualified to speak upon the subject of racism amongst the Muslim Ummah. Simple as. Now our sister not only feels the weight of that gold, but she also feels the weight of the hijab. Yeah? So I have a privilege over her because I don't have to wear the hijab. And in this society, unfortunately, that is a privilege. However disgusted I may feel about that, however much that may turn my stomach, in this society, if the sister doesn't cover her hair, if the sister wears a miniskirt, if the sister wants to assimilate within British culture and Western society and Western standards of beauty, etc., she is going to have an easier time in life than the sister that stays true to the deen of Islam. And this, my dear brothers and sisters, this is our test. This is our test in this world. Wallahi, that's the reality of it. And the the Arab Muslim, the Bengali Muslim, the Pakistani, the Indonesian and so on, they don't understand this test because they don't face these discriminations. No, listen, I have plenty of Pakistani friends in school, yeah? My school was like 60% Asian. And my Pakistani friend never got told like me that you're gonna end up working in McDonald's. And I got told that every day. Every day I got told that, right? My Asian friend never got stopped and searched by the police like I did. Yeah? Bro, the first time I got stopped and searched by the police, I was 12 years old. I was 12 years old and a policeman wants to put his fingers down my throat. He wants to put his fingers in my mouth, not with no glove. Yeah, because he saw a little black kid blowing into his hands because it was cold, and in his head he thought drug mule. He saw drug dealer. Yeah, and this act of me blowing into my hands, to him I was taking the drugs out of my mouth to give it to the homeless man who was walking towards me at that same time. So what does he do? He slams me against the wall as a 12-year-old and he puts his fingers down my mouth. Yeah? You know, I can tell you about the sheikh that I had in Duxi in the Quran lesson. Yeah? The Pakistani sheikh that I had in Duxi, yeah? The Pakistani sheikh who, when we were in Salat, yeah, and we were going into sujood, listen, this is a bad story to tell. This is not like.
Rather than focus on the stories, yeah.
I have to tell the story, please. I have to tell the story. This sheikh, I don't know how to describe it. Basically, he had like what I believe to be testicular cancer in it. He had like deformed. He had like you know what I mean. That area of his body was like, you know what I mean, enlarged. Yeah. Yeah. So basically, when we were going to sujood, the little Pakistani boy who was sitting next to me, he clocked it. Even though we all clocked it, but he clocked it when we were going to sujood. And he couldn't help it, but he laughed. He was like 8 years old. He cracked up laughing. Because he couldn't help it. Now, the sheikh did not say Salaam alaikum rahmatullah. He did not exit prayer. He got up and he punched me. He punched me, not slapped me. He punched me in the back of my head and I was 14 years old. Wallahi. Yeah? And I'm telling you, that happened to me because of what I look like. And I'm not crazy to say that.
So we're saying, what are the solutions then?
First and foremost, understand there's a problem. Understand there is a disease. And it's deep in the Muslim Ummah. First and foremost. Secondly, you go to the antidote. You go to the medicine, which is the Quran and the Sunnah, and you apply it. You apply it by actioning the Quran and the Sunnah. Simple. You know what I mean? This is not rocket science, Eesa, bro. This is not rocket science, my dear brothers and sisters. This is not rocket science.
Well, now I'm a tangibilist, right? So I'm saying that telling people who are actually Muslim and read the Quran to read it more thoroughly.
No, that's not what I'm saying. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying read it. They know it. I'm saying action it.
Yeah, so what I'm saying
action
is,
Do they actually know it though?
Yeah.
Bro, listen, you're right. A lot of Muslims don't know the deen. You're right, and that's a massive problem amongst the Muslims. Yeah, but
a lot of people can't even read the Quran in the language.
But in Arabia they do, in Saudi they do. Yeah, and I'm saying the soldier that called me Abaid in the house of God, I know he does. Yeah, I know he does.
You think because he's a soldier in the house of Allah, so you think that he's knowledgeable, bro? There's people that have lived outside the haram all their lives and never prayed one salah in that masjid.
In that masjid, but they pray salah.
They never prayed no salah. If your masjid, the nearest masjid is Masjid Haram, you're not going to go to the little
Meanwhile,
one down the corner.
while you want them to read it more thoroughly, what are you guys doing?
It's not even reading more thoroughly. What we need to do, so we need to establish certain sort of strategies where we send people into the communities to remedy this, similar to what's happening in Gang. Yeah, there are a lot of notable speakers here that will stand on the pulpits and say Allahu Akbar and say come to Islam, become Muslim, you become our brothers, but they don't go into their masajid, they don't go into their community. And I know you don't like us asking them to get rid of their diseases, yeah, but they have a duty of care as Muslims to do that.
And how successful have you been so far?
Well, we haven't. So right now it's all ideas. We haven't set forth anything tangible to say.
I've been here for time, right, and I've been doing this work for time, and I've seen many different groups and so forth. And the only thing that people care about is power, right? And you have to get that power. You have to show organisation amongst your group and get power, because when you're critiquing people, who are you critiquing? You're critiquing those in the highest. You're critiquing like the sheikh, the royal family, those kind of stuff. People who's actually got their power in it. So if you want to have an opinion, you have to get that structure and get there so you can have those institutes. But people at the low economic ladder, no one cares. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. You have to be organised amongst yourselves, isn't it? And once you're up there, you get the platform. Yeah. You can't keep on expecting that someone who benefits from you being low is going to change their mind. That's going to happen. Look, every time black Muslims talk about this, there's never a non-black Muslim jump. Well, there is a few, but you're never going to get the prominent speakers jumping and going, bam, you're right. You know what I mean? Never. Yeah, so that it's been done. It's been done. Do for yourself.
Listen,
I'm giving this shot to other people.
To add what Raven just said, I have approached, I've approached Muslims that are known in this part, with the intention of finding allies, man. That's it, bro. Like, we all have the same op ultimately, yeah. Because in Arabia, the Bengali gets treated like dirt as well. The Somali gets treated worse, cool, but the Bengali gets treated like dirt as well. So I'm here to find allies ultimately, and I've tried to approach people, man. And no non-black Muslim has ever said anything sensible. And even black Muslims, a lot of them don't say a lot of things that are sensible. So ultimately, I'm here to find allies, yeah? And if you see the disease that I see, and if you're willing to fight the disease that I see, and I'm telling you, if you're not a Muslim and you're trying to fight the disease, you are fighting it without your greatest tool. You are fighting it without your greatest weapon, and that is the Quran and the Sunnah, yeah? And I'm here to tell all the people in Jamaica, all my brothers them in the Dominican, all my brothers them in Antigua, in Suriname, all over the continent of America, from Colombia to Georgia. I'm here to tell all my people them that not only did they steal your name, not only did they steal your tribe and your village, they stole your deen from you as well. Because before you came to America, before you came to the Caribbean, you were Muslim. And I know this facts because Mansa Musa, yeah, was the richest man that ever lived. Mansa Musa was literally Bill Gates squared. You understand me? He was Bill Gates squared. Right? And he was a black man.
Yes.
He was an African man.
Teach.
And alhamdulillah, he was a Muslim. And me, alhamdulillah, I'm a Muslim. And I'm here to action the Quran and the Sunnah. I'm here to action it. And the way you do it is by following the example of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
You know, they say charity begins at home, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah, there's a global epidemic between Muslims and non-Muslims,
yes.
yeah? When it comes to racism.
Yes.
But what about inter-African racism? The divide between East and West.
So this exists, absolutely. This is a huge problem. For example, me as a Somali, I know what we did to the Bantu. Yeah, I know what we did to my brother that looks like you in it. I know what we did to them. Yeah, to the Bantus in Somalia. That Clinton, please, 1 second. Bill Clinton airlifted 100,000 Bantu Somalis out of Somalia because they're not, please, sorry. I'm trying to talk in it.
See, that's it. That's
the all the minor tribes, even Somalis, they were persecuted, not just the Bantu.
So, okay, brother, 1 second. 1 second. I'm the Saq. I know Wagwan, bro. I'm not making this up. The Bantu were airlifted out of Somalia by Bill Clinton in the 1990s because, and according to the United Nations, the Bantu Somali was the most persecuted people on the planet. In the whole world. And I've been to Somalia and I've seen with my own 2 eyes how we treat the white man, how we treat the white woman. We treat them like kings and queens.
What white woman?
Subhanallah, bro.
No
Wallahi, I've seen it with my own eyes,
white
bro.
swear.
They don't live there, they come to visit. They come to see at Las Cal, for example. Yeah, there's plenty of white people.
That's tourism.
Cool, and I've seen how they get treated. I see how they get treated.
Brother, you see the white woman, Does she get the white woman that's a tourist? Does she get treated the same as you when you go back to Somalia?
Of course.
How do you know? You're big, brother. Okay, I'm gonna speak from me as a Western African. When I go back to Ghana, and I go to businesses, the businesses are the business. Brother, we're African, innit? And we both suffer from the same symptoms.
And you want to talk about dividing?
Bro, it's a joke.
Come on, bro. What are you man on a joke? You know what? Scratch that. Listen, Muslims, I'm Morpheus. This is your red pill, blue pill moment, innit? You either wake the fuck up or get out of my way. You either benefit from this, but all you contribute, but you don't get in the way. Do not get in the way. Simple as that. And wallahi, if you get in the way, I'm here to run you over. Simple. I don't care if you're black, brown, I don't care if you're Muslim, non-Muslim, I don't care if you're Jewish, I don't give a damn. If you're in the way of me uplifting my brother, of me uplifting my sister, wallahi, I'm here to run you over. Simple. Simple as that. Simple as that, bro. Simple as that. And if you're with me, you're with me. Wallahi, if you're with me, I don't care if you call yourself Muslim or not. If you're with me, you're with the side of the righteous, and you are a better Muslim than half the Muslims in this park. Wallahi, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed to say that. Hear my voice break. I'm not acting here, boy. I'm not acting. This is the truth. And you can call me number 34 Paul Pierce because I'm the fucking truth, boy. You understand me? I'm not here to do any propaganda. I'm not here to do no PR. I'm not here to make the Muslim look good. Simple as that. I'm not here for that, bro. Because the Quran and the Sunnah is the only thing that is perfect in this world. The Muslim is not. The butcher, the mechanic, the barber, the fake sheikh, the fake malik, the fake sultan that came before him. Because I know what the Turkish man did as well, bro. I'm here to call out all my ops then, bro. Fuck it. I'm here to call out all the ops. You know what? To all my brothers and sisters in the struggle, our gold is in the Bank of England, And today, we come from our local brother on the block in Peckham, in Harlesden, in Brixton, in Tottenham. Today, we come for our brothers on the block in it, Tomorrow, we come for the Bank of England, The day after that, we come for the Tower of London. When we take London, we'll take Paris. When we take Paris, we'll take Amsterdam. When we take Amsterdam, we will take Rome. When we take Rome, we will take Istanbul. Because I know what the European did, the Northern European, the Southern European. I know what the Turk did. I know what the Indo-Aryan did. I know how the Indo-Aryan invented this thing we call racism. This thing we call white supremacy. It does not come from Europe. Let's stop calling it white supremacy, Because we're giving the white man too much credit in it. Simple, The white man never invented nothing, and he definitely never invented racism. It comes from the continent of India. It comes from the caste system that is from India. I'm here to call out the bullshit, brothers and sisters. I'm here to call out the bullshit. And I'm here to tell you that one day we will liberate both South Africa, North Africa, East Africa, and understand something, Arabia is East Africa. And the Arab forgot he's an African. The Arab forgot he's either a North African or an East African, because I do not go by European maps. I go by our maps. And when Musa alayhi salam, when his people them left Palestine and they went to Egypt, and then when they left Egypt and they went to Arabia, they went from Africa to Africa to Africa. Simple as that, bro. Simple as that. Yeah? And to the Arab, you are an African. To me, you are black, yes, because these are our umbrella terms that encompass all of the thousands of tribes of Africa. But you do not identify as black, nor are you identified as black. Much more important.
That's not even totally true, bro. Because there is a distinction of Arabs right now, and there's the lighter skinned ones. There are lighter skinned that.
But do they identify as black?
Bro, whether they want to or not, they are black, brother.
Yes,
if you go to Saudi, you've got the Falata tribe, yeah?
The ones that look like you?
They look like me. The ones that look like Kelbani and that. They have, look, see, they have that. That's what I'm saying. Look, we have an issue inter-African. Amongst ourselves, yeah? We have an issue of how we identify with each other, yeah? Some man want to call it coonish. I don't really like that word, yeah? But some people have gone through some mental condition or mental brainwashing, if you like, yeah? They believe by going by other people's standards and other people's standards of beauty and intelligence and that sort of thing, that it makes them more distinguished than that, bruv. The original Arabs, if you go back to the pre-Islamic poetry, bruv, they boast about themselves being black. You need to read Al-Jahid, his book, yeah, about the virtues of the people of Sudan and Habasha. You got plenty of ahadith in there, yeah, indicating that the original Arabs, yeah, or even the companions of the Messenger of Allah, many of them were black.
Content over everything from your
Come, man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. Listen!
COE!
Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky YG. I just listen to COE! Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV. I don't even listen to Sky Man. Man, just listen to COE! Man, just listen to COE! Man, just listen to COE! If you see me, it's COE! Content over everything. COE!
Man, don't even know BBC.
And when I asked him what name he chose, and I was like, in my head, I'm still now, I'm trying to get him a name.
Sorry, mommy, I'm lying.
Why? Because the story now is so emotional and it's out there. Like that.
Content of everything. Content of everything.
Some of the verses are clear and some of them are allegorical, and those with a disease in their heart, they choose the allegorical part because they want to make it, it's no one can understand this. No, Allah don't say that. He says it makes it clear, because Allah is not the author of confusion, brother. Man, brother.
So what we're saying is the confusion.
Well, the confusion is this, brother, that we're looking to a cloud to be the author of our lives. Let me explain. Look, this is a material universe. You got people who say, I can't be a Muslim because I'm wearing a bit of gold. Come out the ground, brother. Allah produced this, and He produced it for us. This material that we're wearing, brother, who made it? Man made it. That lens, man made it. The watch, man made it. The mobile phone, man made it. Show me the thing that man did not make or did not produce or does not manipulate and come to the understanding of. How do we know, brother, that you are A or B in terms of your blood group? How?
Studying science.
Right, but the science that they're studying, brother, that science is laid out by Allah in the first place. It's not like we're discovering something. We're just looking at Allah's creation.
Allah is the teacher of all things.
Right. So but we keep trying to take Allah out of the equation. Listen to what people say to us. They say, stuck for Allah. Allah could never come in a man. So now you're telling me that you control Allah. Allah says in the book, I can do what I please. I do what I please. and he can do anything.
He also says, Allah says, وَلَا يَنْبَغِي لَهُ أَنْ يَتَّخِذَ وَلَدًا. It's not befitting for him to take a son. So if it wasn't befitting for him to take a son, how much more than he actually lower himself, and put himself. Allah has spoken about mankind being ignorant. Allah says, verily, we gave or we offered the amana, the trust, to the mountains and the other creations, and they abstained out of fear. But mankind took it on himself, and verily mankind was ignorant. And Allah uses the word jahula. So we are saying at the same time that an ignorant creation, i.e. the original man, the black man, the one who would have been the first person to disobey Allah, right? That person is divine, or is of divine material, and that's where I struggle. It's not necessarily that there's a sweet God, but I would never say this is what my God looks like, other than the fact that He said to me, for example, that Allah has hands, or that He hears and He sees. So we say, as Ahlul Sunnah, we say, we affirm for Allah that which He affirms for Himself. So if Allah says He's got a hand, then He's got a hand, and if He says He's got a shin, then He's got a shin. Right, but it's the issue that has
no but. There's no but. That's the point. There's no but.
There isn't a but. But what I'm saying is,
see, brother, believe me, brother. Here I am, an ignorant man walking around. I've got no clue what's going on. You come to me, brother, and you teach me of God. You teach me something so beautiful that I become a believer in God. Do you understand, brother, that Allah came in the person of you to me? It is Allah who is the teacher, brother.
I think maybe where I would stumble is the language that we
I know.
Allah is coming. I wouldn't choose to use that language.
Well, you know, this is how Allah. Look, brother, Sorry, not Bilal. The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, brother. He received the revelation through Jibril. Who is Jibril? Some people say, oh, they describe this man having wings and... No, brother. The Prophet is walking with some of the companions one day. A man approaches him and asks him spiritual questions. The Prophet answers the questions. The man goes away. He's dressed in white. The Prophet says, do you know who that was? They say, no, sir. He said, that was Jibril. It's a man, brother. A man. Allah reveals through men. Moses, all of the prophets, brother, are men or women. Women are seers as well. This is how God works. But you see, brother, we want to make him spooky, and then the believers wonder, brother. They wonder why they got no power. They wonder why they can't. You know, you got Shaitan's world just overpowering the Muslims now. The Muslims are divided. They're all over the place. You got Sunni.
The Muslims are like that because they're not following Allah's commands.
That's right. But what did the Prophet say, brother? The Prophet said, 3 generations after me shall be not of me. He predicted the deviation of the Ummah. And the Ummah today, brother, are in deviation. We think that we're with the Prophet because we grow a beard. We think we're with the Prophet because we wear kufi or jalabiyah, or we use a mishwak, brother. That's fancy dress. Anyone can put on fancy dress. That's not the Sunnah. The Sunnah is to have the heart and the mind and the spirit of the Prophet, brother. Where he was a warrior against injustice. He raised women up from a subservient position. He stopped the idol worship and all the madness that was going on. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something, brother. Religion is I think it was Karl Marx who said it's an opiate, like a drug, where people take their brains out, leave it at their front doors because they're religious. Let me tell you something, bro. The religious community, they better wise up. I'm saying to you with all due humility and respect, Allah is God and Allah is man. And when I say that, brother, I'm not it's you got to know what man is or who man is. In the Bible it says, who is man that God should consider him? Who is man?
I don't mean to be rude, yeah? Sorry for interrupting, yeah?
And by the way, when
you're all arguing about religion, we're all men here, yeah?
We don't have our Arabic anymore. It was stolen from us. We're slowly relearning. However, see, brother, in the book it makes distinctions between man and mankind. There's a difference, brother. And when this white man said he went to the moon and he stepped down and he said, one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, you need to ask yourself the question, why did he make that distinction? What is the difference between man and mankind? Because mankind is a kind of man, but he's not the original man. And the original man, brother, is different to mankind. And man, brother, brother, I don't want to put it on you, I'm going to put it on myself. Brother, we have hardly seen a real man. That's what I want to say. Brother, see, that's why we spend so much time talking about historical men. Because they were like, wow, when you read about it, you say, oh my God, but we don't believe that such men could live today. But that's our mistake. Because Allah is, right, but that's my point. But I'm saying, brother, when you see man in his true magnificence, we don't know what a man looks like. What we see today, brother, is a facsimile of a man.
So what are the attributes
man
of a man? How do you recognize a real man?
Oh, brother.
Is that another long topic?
You're asking some beautiful questions. But I've got to say this to you, brother. I really, really appreciate you, brother. I really appreciate your spirit. Your spirit is absolutely beautiful. Brother, let me tell you something. Some of these so-called religious people, when their faith is questioned or somebody says something that they don't quite get or they don't understand, and we get all shaky and we want to kill the speaker and we want to get all twisted and angry, that's because your faith is weak.
Well, that's the thing. I've got a firm foundation in what I believe.
But that's what I feel from you. I feel a man who is very grounded and you know what you believe. So you don't feel threatened by somebody who's offering a different exegesis. And we all have to learn to humble ourselves and learn to listen to the other, because there's something to learn. There's something to be gleaned from just having the humility to recognize that we don't know. In the Holy Quran it says, what's that scripture where it says we believe in all of it? It is all from Allah. In terms of and what they've done, they put the comma in the wrong place in many of the translations to try to make out that the scholars also know as well as Allah. But Allah says none knows its interpretation but Allah. Nobody knows.
Okay, So the verse you're talking about is in Surah Al-Imran. It says والراسخون في العلم يقولون آمنا بالله آمنا به كل من عند ربنا وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله. And you're saying that's where it's supposed to stop. But some people have continued to say وما يعلم تأويله إلا الله والراسخون في العلم. So when I read that surah, that's what I do. I continue. Because I don't have, in fact what I do have is I have a precedent to know that some of the companions or some of the early generations used to read that verse like that. But that's not to say that the people of understanding are anywhere close to the understanding of Allah. No. Allah is all-knower of all things, and they're deficient.
He says none knows its interpretation but Allah. And those who are, wise and firm, whatever, they say we believe in it, all of it, it is all from Allah. But Allah is the one who knows the interpretation of that which He has revealed. And Allah says that in terms of Jesus, the Messiah, He says He teaches him the book and the wisdom. See, brother, this is not...
says that about the Prophet Muhammad as well. He teaches them the Quran and the Quran.
Well, the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, brother, he received the revelation. But the Prophet Muhammad gave us some exegesis, but he didn't give us all. That's why the scholars to this day, brother, are arguing and wrangling.
But you do realise they are using historical exegesis, which have been left and they've been attributed to the Prophet Muhammad to do that. Because what my retortion would be is, Allah says in the Quran, whoever seeks a religion other Islam, then it will not be accepted for him, and in the hereafter he will be from amongst the losers. Okay, he also says, today I've completed and perfected my religion, and I've
chosen for you Islam as a religion. Did you know that Islam is not a religion?
Well, it's a deen. Yes. If we go back to the deen is a way of life.
It's a way of life. Right. But Allah now, because of the level of deviation, within the human being and the human being being indisciplined and not wanting to focus himself properly, Allah then codifies Islam into a book form so that we actually have something that we can have in our head to follow. Keep on going off the path, going off the straight path. Allah in His infinite wisdom and mercy gives us a book. But Islam is bigger than any book. No book can contain Islam. Islam is the universal order. Islam is from the very beginning. Islam didn't start 1,400 years ago. Right. So Islam, when we say no religion will be acceptable to Allah, brother, if a Christian will submit his will to do the will of Allah 100%, no matter what he calls himself, he's a Muslim.
Well, I fully agree.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
he wouldn't be a Christian anymore.
No. But you see, when you say Christian only means one who is crystallized into oneness with God, following the example of Christ. So he's still a righteous person. You see what I'm saying? So all is required for the human being is to submit their will to do the will of Allah. Doesn't matter what we call ourselves. Those are labels which are so irrelevant. So the Muslim thinks that because
okay, you say it's irrelevant, yeah, and I understand where you're coming from. Well, as in it's the overall, it's what's inner and what comes out in the actions, which is the most important. But then, why does Allah mention the fact that Abraham or Ibrahim, he actually named his followers Muslims? Clearly, that's to give that title some prestige.
No, but listen, what does Muslim mean? Muslim means one who submits his will entirely to do the will of Allah. That's all it is. So, in whatever language you say,
Rastafari.
If a man is
like
submitting his will, he's a Muslim.
Ali Selassie.
Can a man do that without following the command of the Prophet?
See, the nature of the human being is to submit to God. Allah encoded it in the nature. Some people, brother, believe me, brother, there are people who do it naturally. Some people will go against their own nature and do unrighteousness, or some people need the book. But some people, brother, it comes out of them like a web comes out of a spider. Brothers, good people in this world who have never been exposed to the Quran. Look, in atheists, brother, they don't even believe in a God. Cuba, free healthcare, free schooling. Come on now. In America, in God we trust. In England, if you ain't got money, you starve. If you ain't got money, you can't get help. See, brother, there's a scripture in the Bible that says there's a man who says he will, and there's a man who says he won't. And the man who says he will doesn't, and the man who said he won't does. Which man is righteous?
The man who says he won't does, and the man who says he doesn't.
He said he won't, but he does. Which one is the righteous man?
Maybe the one who says he won't, but he does.
There you go. Because it's not about what we say. Anyone can say religion from their lips. And brother, we got some people claiming all manner of things, brother, but you've got to watch the actions. Because action speaks louder than words. And you will have a man who will say, I'm an atheist. Look, brother, I'll go further. You will have a homosexual who will be a good human being, but on that one act, they're messed up because somebody's told them.
It's funny you said that because it's like for black people, it's like homosexuality is like the worst.
Of course,
thing.
That's the worst taboo. But you understand what I'm saying, brother? And it's not for us necessarily to judge, because see, those of us who are heterosexual condemning the homosexuals, brother, some of the stuff that we're doing in the bedroom with our wives, unacceptable to Allah. Some of the things that our fornication and adultery and all of that, it's just as unacceptable, brother. But we want to throw off on the homosexual like, oh, what's the...
I think my point would be, bro, your example of Cuba, where there's free healthcare and free schooling. There's also a lot of other vices. But for me, the main vice is you can be as good as you want. But as at the time of, for example, because in the Quraysh would have had lots of people that did good things. But at the time of meeting the messenger,
And they were good poets.
And good with their hospitality, apparently.
Yes.
And good with some of them looking after the orphan girls.
Yes.
But my point would be that any of those people at a time of meeting the Prophet in the hadith, right, at their point of rejection, all their good deeds would mean naught. They'll be zero. Because of the fact that they rejected and not acknowledged that Allah has sent the message to them.
Say for instance, earlier on there was a brother here, he was shouting all kinds of filth and crazy stuff about us. But in our teachings we're taught that there is no such thing as an irredeemable black man. So he remains my brother. And I'm not just saying it like trying to be all pious.
See, I would never, that person who you're talking about, I would never deem him to be a problem. Yeah. If he fixed up how he's acting.
No, but that's the point. You said if he fix up, he can fix up, brother. And what we mustn't do as believers, see Allah, listen to Allah's attributes. He is the beneficent, the merciful, Rahman Rahim, the oft returning to mercy, the merciful. Allah is full of mercy, brother. And every one of us needs and wants the mercy of Allah. But if we are to get the mercy of Allah, we must first learn to show mercy to those. In the Bible it says it like this: forgive them, Lord, for they know not what they do. A lot of this stuff that we do is pure ignorance, brother. It's ignorance. It's ignorance. And it's annoying listening to ignorant speech, but what can you do? If a man chooses to live there, you know, you just try to move away from him, let him continue. But what we mustn't do is become so incensed and so angry and allow that jinn within to get to the point where we want to murder him. Do you understand what I'm saying? We want to silence him because he's saying something, you know. But it's brother, honest to God, some of the biggest problems on our planet is around religion. You understand what I'm saying? And religious people have to learn to humble themselves and understand that in the Bible, I think in the Bible it says that all of your righteousness is as filthy rags in the eyes of God. You understand? Some of us, we become holier than thou. And we think we're so righteous because we go and do 5 prayers or whatever we do and we pay some charity, whatever. It's much more than that, brother. It's much more than that. And it's about connecting with the essence of God, the essence of Allah. See, we run around the Kaaba, brother, and we think, some of us act like that's where God lives. Brother, without this body, that block of stone could not exist. That black stone that all the Muslims are fighting to kiss, but they won't kiss a black man. But I'm telling you, brother, that black stone is a sign. It's a sign of the black man, of the original man. Believe me, brother.
Is that why you're linking the two, the black man and the black stone?
See, brother, see this center of our eye, brother, this black circle that the white goes around? See, there's so much in life that's codified by Allah, brother. But the black man is more than who we think the black man is. You know, brother, we've been here for over 76 trillion years. The black man. We never evolved from a monkey, brother. We've always been men. However, brother, you can't find on this planet today a gun with a black man's name on it. We outnumber the white man, brother, in excess of 20 to 1 on this planet.
Can I offer an alternate thing? Yes, we are not responsible for any Kalashnikovs or any assault rifles.
Not our name.
No.
Uzi is not our name.
But in our
Smith
continent,
& Weston is not our name.
But would we not have been responsible for the bows and arrows or the spears that we would have used to kill our own people?
See, brother, again, there's a tremendous African proverb that says, until the lions tell their story, the tale of the hunter will always be superior. See, everything we've learned about lions, we learned from the hunter. You need to listen to what the lions have to say. Because they'll put the camera on the lion and say, look at this savage creature. No, brother, the lion is only carrying out its nature. The white man goes into the ocean and condemns the shark. The shark is doing what sharks do. The white man puts the dog in his living room, domesticates the dog, and then the dog, every now and then the dog has a flashback, brother, to his nature. And the nature of a dog is to bite. So the dog bites up the child, then the white man is all angry and vexed, he puts the dog down. The dog didn't do nothing wrong. The dog was carrying out its nature. The white man, he said that he came to Africa and found the black man swinging through the trees with a bone in his nose. He's a damn liar. Brother, we are the most civilized people on this planet. That's why the white man put us in his kitchen to cook his food. Because we knew how to cook, brother. We knew about herbs and spices. We knew how to season. The white man says that he's a gentleman. No, the real gentleman is right here. You've never seen a suit worn properly until you saw the members of the Nation of Islam. This is how the suit is supposed to be. This is the real gentleman. We don't carry weapons in the Nation of Islam. We're a completely unarmed group. We don't believe in carnal weapons. We're Muslims. We're taught to fight with those who fight with us. We do self-defense. That's all we don't believe in being aggressive. We don't believe in attacking anybody. We don't believe in putting people down based on their different beliefs or disbelief or whatever. We're peaceful people, brother. That's the nature of the black man from time immemorial. You can't show any black nation that's ever left its borders and gone and attacked and conquered other people. We don't do it, bro. I know, go on, search for it.
I'm Ashanti, so I know my people's history. And I know because I'm from a specific tribe in Shia. So prior to Ashanti, the Ashanti tribe getting prestige or eminence in the Ghana, then Shia was actually literally going around and consolidating territory within the Ghana by killing the other tribe.
Okay.
And then Ashanti then did that. And what we also did is we were one of the first and foremost of the people to sell our brothers of course.
Okay. How long ago was this?
Let's say what, 14, around about the 1400s.
Okay, so that's yesterday. Brother, the white man's been here for 6,000 years. And I'm telling you, brother, his influence in Africa and throughout the East and the what we call Asia, brother, this is where all of this killing came from and where it all started. Prior, brother, remember what I said? We've been here for 78 trillion years. Brother, we never did it, brother. It was never in our character.
It was never.
But going back to that other thing again, remember before about that thing that's yes, there's a defect. There was a defect in the original man's character, and the Creator wanted to perfect man and perfect the universe. There's a wobble. There's a wobble in the planet. You know, the planet Earth is not perfectly round. Yeah. It's like an egg shape, like an oblong, and it doesn't go round. As it turns, it wobbles. Yeah. This is something which is in the process of being perfected.
So you don't believe that the creation at its very inception?
No, sir. No, sir.
So do you not believe that the Creator himself is perfect?
No, sir. He's called Rabbil Alameen, one who creates and then perfects the creation stage after stage after stage. We are living in a universe that's moving more and more towards a perfected condition and state. And Almighty God Allah, He makes the law of the universe, the universal principles and laws. But guess what? He lives within His own law. He's not a lawbreaker. His perfecting of Himself is an ongoing process, just like the universe.
So He's Himself simultaneously
growing and developing in knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, because knowledge is infinite. And Allah, oh man.
So let's go. So at one point,
but we're going to have to go very shortly. But I've really enjoyed this, brother.
I think we need to have more little dialogue.
Yeah, I really appreciate your questions and your manner. You know, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. Thank you very much.
No.
May Allah bless you, brother. And may we all just continue to study.
Yeah, may Allah open doors and you know, bring us to more avenues to increase our knowledge.
The Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, said that the Muslims, the Islamic Ummah, must go in search of knowledge. And even if we have to go to far off China, these are Buddhists, brother. These are Buddhists, mostly Buddhists. But the Prophet was not afraid to tell the Muslims, keep learning. Learn. And he, by the way, in one of the hadith, he told them, he said, if a man should come to you with a face or a complexion like soot and hair like dried raisin, he's describing a black man, If he teaches you knowledge, follow him, listen to him. The Prophet was telling again these racist Arabs, the black man, and remember what he said? The Prophet Muhammad said, I heard the footsteps of Bilal going into paradise ahead of my own. He was giving them a lot of clues, bro, about what's coming. There's a new Bilal in town. Believe me. I've got to go because it's my suit is going to get ruined.
Thank you very much, brother. That's beautiful.
Next time. I don't have to. Next time. Next time. Next week. Next
It's making something that doesn't make sense. You don't want to accept it. This white guy moving in,
Yeah, they stir things up. No, what he said. Long question. I can't really go into it. But he said to me, if a white person embraces Islam and is submitted to the will of Allah, then I said to him,
from your man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
You're rolling still.
As we already know, in Kashmir we can see there's an article 370 which has been revoked in Indian occupied Kashmir. Just for context, we know there's two Kashmirs, one Kashmir in Pakistan, one Kashmir in India. The Kashmir that I'm talking about right now, though, Kashmir that I'm referencing is Jammu Kashmir. So we know Kashmir is a disputed region where there are not...
Imam Hassan's head was brought to Yazid. He hit it with a stick.
According to authentic hadith?
Authentic hadith, authentically transmitted. History. When he did history as well. When he hit the head, he said, "Today, my forefathers. Today, Hussein. I have got revenge for what your forefather did to my forefather on the day of Badr and Uhud."
Now, who was Yazid's forefather?
Who's Yazid's forefather? Abu Sufyan.
Abu Sufyan.
Who's Imam Hassan's forefather?
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he's
saying.
No, wait. Run that by me.
Content over everything.
There's an angel that put the finger in their anus.
Okay. I've heard people quote this kind of stuff. Okay, you know with the thing with traditions, with hadith, there's no doubt with traditions. There's no doubt with traditions. We're always going to have traditions that are sahih and fabricated. It's always going to exist. This problem doesn't only occur in Sunni Islam. To say it occurs only in Sunni Islam is being biased. The concept of fabricated traditions exists everywhere, across the border. So I've heard people quoting this. I haven't researched it myself. By intellect, it's enough for me to reject it by intellect that even if it is transmitted, it's... How can that be true?
Even if it's sahih.
Because we have a principle that says that any tradition that goes explicitly against the Quran, and to a level even against, so if you have a tradition that's mass transmitted, and you have another tradition, so you've got one tradition that's been narrated by so many people, and you've got another tradition that's narrated by a couple of people. If one is obviously saying one thing the other, we will reject the one that's narrated by one person in favor of the one that's narrated by many. So if the Quran and the traditions are saying not stuff against this, we're going to say this one tradition that you bring, we're going to say, okay, there's no need for this. So even if you quote it to me, if it's Sahih chain or whatever, we'll just literally, we have no issue saying that kind of stuff. We don't say, oh, it's Sahih, oh, we have to accept it. We say, listen, this goes against the basic aspects of the Quran, the basic aspects of the mass transmitted Sunnah, as well as intellect. This goes against it. If it's, I've already read this, I've heard about this, people have mentioned it to me once, 2 times before, but okay, this is something that, what can I say about this tradition? What can I say about it?
Yeah, this is where I usually kind of like get perplexed, yeah?
I'm with you.
Because basically, you can pick and choose what to accept based on, even though if they are all sahih, you kind of pick and choose.
I'm with you.
Right? And it kind of like,
you feel like there's
not straightforward for me.
No,
yeah?
let me answer. You know where the traditions are, like there's no doubt sometimes you'll get conflicting traditions. You'll have one tradition narrated this way, one tradition narrated that way, and they might be saying the opposite things. This is why we look at the chains and we say, look, if one tradition has been transmitted massively, meaning let's just say you've got 30 people saying the same thing.
Right.
And then you've got one other tradition narrated by one person.
Yeah.
Even if that one tradition has a Sahih chain, we'll say, listen, the mass majority of people are saying one thing. And the one guy saying the one, we'll say that's enough for it to be rejected.
It's a science. The scholars use these because it does exist. Sometimes you get two chains that say similar things, opposite things, and the chain is sahih for both.
Yeah.
So the scholars will try and reinterpret them and say, look, let's try and make them not conflict. But if they can't do that, they'll say rejected. Especially if it goes, and the basic principle is any tradition that goes against the Quran. Imam Ja'far Sadiq alayhi salam, one of the principles in our tradition says, any tradition that goes against the Quran, throw it against the wall.
So
do you see what he said? He said throw it against the wall.
I get that. But so the point is, how can this narration, I don't know.
If it exists, I don't know, allow the figure.
How can it go against the Quran?
Yeah.
That's the question I'm asking.
By naturally, the tradition that you narrate, because I don't really know the full tradition of what it says. But first we can go towards the intellect. The intellect, what does the tradition say?
Well, it says that
I'm trying not to laugh.
The Sunni, when there's an angel, when it's a man, they put a finger in their anus, and then when it's a woman, something like that. So they become.
I think when they're born, I think it's trying to say.
Yeah, when they are born.
So obviously, look, this is extremism lies in every sect.
Yeah.
And you can just tell by the text.
I think we should just bring the hadith out though.
I don't even know the hadith out.
I've never heard it myself.
He's quoting from a Shia tradition. That's why you might not have heard of it. He's going from a Shia tradition. Baki, you know what it is?
Yeah.
It being narrated, you can tell by the way it's narrated by intellect. You can see that it's something that it doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Okay,
you don't need to be a genius to figure that out because it's not something does that sound Islamic to you? You can just tell. Do you understand? That's not Islam where the angel comes and the angel has nothing better to do but to astaghfirullah, do this kind of stuff. So it's something that, and it sounds like you can tell by the tradition that it's something that an extremist would have narrated. To go against, it's polemical. You can see an extreme Shia could have narrated that to go against.
Yeah.
You can see in it.
Oh, sorry, I'm fine. Thank you. That's very kind of you. Very kind of you.
I got you, man.
Very kind of you. Man.
So you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, fine. That's good because I understand.
You understand what I'm
saying?
But traditions die hard, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get that.
No one follows it. First of all, like in our tradition, no one knows of this.
Yeah.
No one follows it. No one even knows about it. You've got to dig deep to read that one tradition. If it was something that was known and we followed it, then you would have the point. But no one really.
But the difference is that this is not hadith that you need to follow. It's something.
Is that fish though?
But we don't believe in it. But so then, we don't believe in it.
Good. Yeah, that's fine.
100%. We know that because our school says that we use the intellect as well. If there's things that blatantly go against the Quran or blatantly goes against something that's known, we say no.
Now I have another question. Why do Shia, maybe not every Shia does that, why do they cut themselves?
Yeah, so look, with the cutting of the self, the way it started with the cutting is that they do it. There was another So it started as a tradition. So for example, after the Prophet's family was not generally some cultures, when someone dies, they agree. They hit, they agree. So throughout time, what happened is after Imam Hassan was martyred, the Shia started coming out in the same year and they started organising a commemoration of martyrdom. So they started saying, and it slowly became a kind of a style. So in the beginning it would have been like, what's happened? And then slowly it became culturally accepted. You see what I'm saying to you?
Yeah.
Then some people went one step further. What did they do? They went one step further. They said, this is one thing. Some people started saying, okay, I want to feel the pain. I want to feel what Imam Hassan went through. So I want to hit myself and feel the same thing that he felt through. And then they started doing that. So that's where it comes from. So a lot of scholars have done kalam on it. It's a Shia thing that people do, but don't get it twisted. A lot of Shia scholars go against it as well. But it's become so mainspread and so widespread that the people do it regardless of what the scholars say.
So do you accept this from the deen or you don't accept it?
Nah, it's not from the thing. No, of course. This is something that's traditional, unfortunately, that started.
Yeah.
And the Shia scholars that say they're against it, a lot of Shias don't follow.
Yeah.
It's out of their hand, in a say.
Okay.
But the thing that we do in terms of martyrdom and we do this. This is all stuff that we accept that to a level this is fine. It's a form of objection to say that look, we're against what happened to the Prophet's family as a protest. You get that? Obviously people get emotional, they get a bit high, fair enough. But in terms of that, of course, this is...
So the next question is that, do you...
And unfortunately in Muharram, that's the only thing that's shown. In this month, rather than focusing on the Prophet's family and telling all the world about what happened to the Prophet's family, which the Sunni Shias agree on, and brother, you're Muslim, I can see by the bit, is that a lot of the Muslims, the Sunni Shia issue was never related to Imam Hassan. The Sunnis and Shias agreed on it. This is what's sad, my brother, is that people try and make it look like Muharram, Imam Hussain is a Sunni Shia, like the Sunni feels of today, like he can't come towards Imam Hussain and say Yazid's wrong. The Sunni scholars of the past, and I was saying in my old video, that other talk, that Sunni scholars of the past were against Yazid as much as we are. Okay. Example, Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal, one of the 4 fuqaha of the Sunnis, he done open takfir on Yazid. That Yazid's a kafir for what he done to Imam Hussain. Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal. So he was known for this position.
That's something I've got to do. I've never heard
of course. Imam Taftazani. These are scholars who are the pillars of Sunni Islam. I'm not talking about Ibn Taymiyyah or Abdul Wahhab, because I don't see them as Sunni. They're Wahhabi straight. Different story.
That's beef, bro.
That's beef. I know, but
I said that's beef. Those are people that I count from my
But the thing is, the brothers, and no disrespect to you at all, my brother.
Yeah.
It's that people don't know that the Sunni tradition's been hijacked. So if I asked you what you are, you would say Sunni. True? In a sense.
Yeah. I'd go into it and say I'm Salafi.
Okay.
Yeah.
But if you look at the positions of these lot, they differed a lot of things with the normal Sunni positions. So I'll give you an example. At the time of Muhammad ibn Wahhab and Ibn Taymiyyah, in their time when they said certain things, a lot of the scholars of their time refuted them. Example, Muhammad Abdul Wahhab, the first person to refute him was his brother. Brother was a sheikh. And his father. They disagreed with him. They said, listen, what you want?
But I don't know about refutations though.
They wrote, his book wrote refutation. His brother wrote a book against it. Wrote a book against it.
Refutation of what?
Of his views. This views of you can't go to the shrines, no intercession, you know, all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, okay. So basically the majority of the Ahlul Sunnah were
accept
upon
that tradition.
upon,
now you get that.
Right. And they were more say traditionalists, you can't.
You can't.
Right.
So what I'm trying to say is that, and now even
we know that minorities and majorities are not hujjah.
100%. We use that as well, so we agree on that. That's totally fine. So, and the same thing about Imam Hussain. Sunni scholars and Shia scholars have always condemned Yazid and always considered him a bad person, and a lot of Sunni scholars have considered him a kafir as well. To my point, Imam Taftazani, there's a book by Imam Nasafi. He's got a book on beliefs. It's basically the pillar of Sunni schools. If these people aren't Sunni, then no one's Sunni. It's like that. Imam Nasafi in his book Aqaid, he's got a book on beliefs. Imam Taftazani, who's a major Sunni scholar, he does a commentary on it. It's called Shar al-Aqaid al-Nasafi. In that book, he says that Yazid's a kafir, he says openly. And he goes, the curse be upon those people who killed, the person who killed Imam Hussain, the person who was happy with it and who helped him. And then he curses Yazid and says he's a kafir as well. So the Sunni scholars and Shia scholars were agreed on this. It's later day, especially from the Salafi movement, and again, brother, it's just all into academic.
Yeah, no, because I'm from one of those people that doesn't hold Yazid to be a kafir, even whether he was athim, whether he was a sinner or not. But Ahlul Sunnah are agreed that we don't make takfir upon people based on kaba'ir.
But you see, now this is very important. You see, now, but this is very important. Now, the brothers may say something. You see,
we don't make takfir on Ahlul Qibla.
You see, what he's saying is now, is that this is exactly what I'm trying to say. You see, the normal thing in your head was that Yazid in your head is generally scholars don't do takfir, right? You would think that in your head, right?
Well, definitely contemporary now.
Contemporary,
they don't. Yeah.
But the traditional Sunni scholars of the Ashaira and the Maturidi,
right? See, we don't count them from amongst the imams.
So
a lot of them, there is a Maturidi Ash'ari following.
They're the main. If they're not Ahl Sunnah, who's Ahl Sunnah?
Ahl Sunnah, Ahmad ibn Hanbal, Al-Shafi'i, Malik.
These are all muhaddithin. Yeah, but these are what you call fuqaha.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the scholars of belief. The scholars of belief, Aqaid, were the main ones that say it. What Imam Abu al-Hasan, he's a pillar. If someone says Imam Abu al-Hasan Ash'ari is not Sunni,
but then
there's no Sunnism left. The scholars you're talking about are the specific movement of Muhammad ibn Abdul Wahhab and Ibn Taymiyyah. This is what I want you to understand.
But you know that the narrative is that Abu al-Hasan made taraji' from Ash'ari.
They say that.
Right.
They say that.
Came to Ibn Qudama, and Ibn Qudama was at the time of Ahmad.
If you say that, all the scholars of the Ash'ari that followed, they're still there, right? Imam Nawawi, all these were Ash'ari.
My next question is this.
But anyway, the point was that even some scholars from the Sunni tradition, Imam bin Hanbal done takfir on Yazid. So if this position was valid, Imam bin Hanbal would know. Meaning, if this position that you don't do takfir, because the takfir on Yazid is not only for kabair. That's very important. Sorry, Waki, I've kind of hijacked your question. When Imam Hussein's head was brought to Yazid, he hit it with a stick.
According to authentic hadith?
Authentically transmitted. History. When he did history as well. When he hit the head, he said, today Hussein, I have got revenge for what your forefather did to my forefather on the day of Badr and Uhud.
Now, who was Yazid's forefather?
Who's Yazid's forefather? Abu Sufyan. Who's Imam Hussein's forefather?
Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So he's saying.
Hold on, wait. Run that by me.
Run that by again.
Yazid's grandfather was Abu Sufyan.
Yes, and Imam Hassan's grandfather was?
The Prophet.
Yeah.
Right.
So
But
Abu Sufyan was the one who fought the Prophet Muhammad at Badr or Uhud.
Tayyib, but Abu Sufyan embraced the deen after.
Yeah, it's true. But what is Yazid saying? Yazid saying today.
That doesn't. But what I'm saying is that's not a sensical. If we're drawing that that conclusion, it's not sensical.
No, I think
we're saying we're getting revenge.
No, I get it. I'm getting revenge. Yeah. I got revenge for what your forefather did to my forefather. Yazid saying that. He's saying, Imam Hussein, you know your forefather, the Prophet, he killed my grandfather, attacked my grandfather on Badr and won the war. Today I've got revenge for him.
Okay.
So I get you saying Abu Sufyan was Muslim, no problem.
So
but
who's
Yazid,
his forefather?
Abu Sufyan is Yazid's forefather.
Right.
But Yazid saying, today I got revenge. So Yazid's not a Muslim. Yazid's saying, I don't care. That's why Yazid used to drink alcohol, and he said, if alcohol is in the same poetry, this is poetry by the way, when Imam Hussain was brought to him, he said, if alcohol is haram in the religion of Ahmed, let it be known I make it halal according to the religion of Masih, Nabi Isa. So basically he didn't care. The point is that he didn't, if it's true, if it's accepted, if it's true. So you can see what he's trying to say is, I'm still getting revenge for Badr. If you're getting revenge on Badr, what does that mean? That means inside you're not a Muslim, are you?
Yeah, but I get that. Yeah. What I'm trying to say is it doesn't make sense that because Abu Sufyan was harmed at Badr.
No, Abu Sufyan was him personally wasn't, but he was the Imam of the Mushrikeen.
That was his grandfather.
Okay,
on Badr he got flawed, didn't it?
So we're drawing the conclusion that by Yazid's speech, if this hadith is true, that he's saying, I'm getting revenge for the Mushrikeen against the Muslimun.
Yes, now you get it. That's it. And it's based on that kind of stuff that scholars have done open takfir on it.
Okay.
So Imam Ahmad bin Hanbal has done takfir on him based on this as well. So these kind of things exist. So that's the tradition generally where takfir exists on that school. So a lot of so Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti, have you heard of that name?
Yeah.
He's got a book called Tariq al-Khulafa. Imam Jalaluddin Suyuti. In that book Tariq al-Khulafa, he does la'an on Yazid.
I've read the book, bro. I've got it at home in English. I ain't seen the Latin.
Okay, maybe the translation they play around sometimes. I'll get it for you.
Okay,
he done la'an on Yazid in that book.
Cool.
Imam Mahmoud Alusi. Have you heard of his name? He's got a book. He's got a tafsir called Ruh al-Mani.
Right.
Famous. These are what you call without them. This is they are the pillars of Sunnism. He does takfir on Yazid as well, in his tafsir. So the point is that nowadays the specific movement of the Salafiyah, they won't do it, but traditional Sunni scholars always did because there wasn't a Sunni Shia issue. They agreed on this. But today it gets made into a Sunni Shia issue.
But
in reality, it's a Shia Salafi issue.
To say that they agreed on it would be to say that they had ijma'.
No, but by agree I mean that they knew that Yazid is a worthless piece of person. Sunni scholars were basically.
My thing is, I don't dispute that maybe some of the Ummah said that he was a sinner, or he was from the Fusaq.
I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. If someone kills the Prophet's grandson, and even if you leave that.
Yeah, but you know Yazid was not. It wasn't his hand that killed. It wasn't his hand that killed.
It's like me saying to you, George Bush didn't do anything in Baghdad, in Iraq. He's the one who sent the soldiers. It's like me saying Pharaoh's not a bad person. He didn't do anything. Pharaoh's army is the one who terrorized everyone. It's Pharaoh. The Imam gets the responsibility.
But what I'm saying is,
it's like me saying George Bush didn't do anything.
But you know that it's possible for two parties of mu'mineen to fight each other, right?
That doesn't apply on this. I agree with what you're saying.
So how do we get away from that?
Because the way we get away from this is that exactly after he martyred him, Yazid's character came out when he said this poetry.
If it's
correctly attributed.
Do you know what it is?
Also, we're not talking about two believers, brother. We're talking about
Imam Hussain. Yeah, we're talking about Imam Hussain.
Sayyid al-Shabab al-Jannah, the leader of the paradise. The one who the Prophet said,
and by the way, but he knows that one's obviously a Sahabi in the family, and one is not even a Sahabi.
He's not even a
Sahabi for you.
He's not a Sahabi?
He's not.
He never saw the Prophet.
He never saw the Prophet. Do you get it? So it's a whole different category.
It's a whole different category.
And Sunni scholars have even done takfir on it.
Wait, but that's not to say that, you know, because one's a daraja above another one, they're not both mu'min. But the amr is to fight the person who's baghi. Yeah? So
okay, I get it.
Yeah, so there's no mention of kufr for the person who's baghi in that ayah.
No, but who's the baghi in this interpretation?
So in the baghi is Yazid.
But he's the one that held the power. Imam Hussain went against him. He held the power.
So, hold on. So are you saying that Imam Hussein was the baghi?
We're not saying he's the baghi. We're saying that verse doesn't apply to Imam Hussein. He's not a baghi. Yazid was never the ruler anyway. But the point is, if someone applies that verse and says he's the ruler, then baghi, Imam Hussein can't be the baghi, can you?
Okay.
Do you get it?
Let me take that back.
So the point is about Yazid is that these are all the kind of things he done. And apart from Imam Hussein, let's move forward. And this is historically narrated. in the second or after he killed Imam Hussain, in the years after, he done two more things. He attacked Makkah and Medina. When he attacked Makkah, he attacked Abdullah bin Zubair. Abdullah bin
Sahabi. Wait. The person who killed Abdullah ibn Zubair, was Hajjaj.
No, so the army, Abdullah bin Zubair rebelled in Medina. In
Right,
Makkah,
so Hajjaj beheaded him.
No, so Hajjaj killed him after, but that war, it might not be Abdullah bin Zubair, but someone who rebelled against Yazid in Makkah, I'm going to check, I think it was Abdullah bin Zubair.
That was a Sahabi, you said?
I don't know if it was Sahabi, I think it was Tabi.
Okay.
And he rejected Yazid's Khilafah. He then sent an army to Makkah, and they attacked the Kaaba.
Okay, so, alright.
And one more thing, let me just and then Medina. When he went to Medina, he said to his soldiers, catapult the Kaaba. When he went to Medina, he said to his soldiers, I make three things, I make the whole of Medina.
You didn't know that?
He catapulted the Kaaba. He goes, I make Medina halal for you. So for 3 days, they killed and they raped women. Astaghfirullah, in Medina. And the Prophet ﷺ said, anyone who scares the residents of Medina, Allah's curse be upon him.
He also had monkeys running through the Prophet's mosque.
No, but he had the thing, the horses, you know, the Prophet's
so
mosque was used as a stable.
this is a lot of information that I'm not knowledgeable about.
And
So
by the way,
it's for me to go back and check the
I respect
sources.
that. I respect that. But you know why I respect that? Is that if someone doesn't know, you don't turn around and say it's fabricated.
No, I can't say that.
A lot of the brothers here, fabrication. Then you say Albani said he goes, okay.
Yeah, no, I can't, I'm not going to stand there and lie.
They're not sincere in the approach.
Prophet said, whoever lies upon me intentionally, then let him take his
place in the hellfire.
So I'm not going to come out here and say
it's
so.
True.
But that's not the narrative that I've been taught.
Yeah,
so.
And of course you wouldn't. This is how it is. The thing is, and also in terms of the Prophet's mosque, they tied the horses. They used the Prophet's mosque as a stable.
Okay.
Yazid's army used it because he said for 3 days you can do what you want. So generally this is Yazid's character. So Imam Hussain and Karbala is one thing, but if you want to know about Yazid's character and what he done, either one of these is enough to make him a kafir anyway. If no one wants to accept the Imam Hussain thing, even this is enough to make him a kafir. But
So alright, so what we're saying is him terrorizing the people of Medina.
And saying for 3 days I'll make it halal and disrespect the Prophet's shrine, yeah.
He said, what does he say? I'll make it halal. I'll make Medina halal for you.
Make it halal for you. Do whatever you want.
Do you know those ones?
Those ones.
Okay.
Jaiz, Mubah. Do anything, and that's why his soldiers raped. It's known in history. Tariq al-Khulafa, read that. Jalaluddin Suyuti, read that book. Yeah. It's in that book, by the way. All of these things that I'm mentioning is in that book.
Khalas, I'm gonna go home and read it.
Inshallah, my brother. If people had the adab and akhlaq of this brother, we'll get a lot further, innit? We'll get a lot further.
It's good to speak to you. Hold it, G. Hold it.
My brother.
It's cold.
Yeah, man.
Over here, G.
I'm gonna get.
Greetings and welcome to Boogs Nagas TTV. Tell Truth Vision. Here to control our narrative. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell as videos will be uploaded randomly. Peace, family.
Leave it up to me while I be living proof. Kick the truth to the young black youth.
Coming into black music makes him the number one and puts hip hop on another level. My point is, and the people, and Eminem's an artist. The people that's on the next level because of Eminem. What I'm saying is, this is the perception in the context that we live. In the context that we live. I don't want to live in this world you man live in, cuz I don't understand. You say you man live in. Fam, I didn't. Alright. Am I making up the fact that white people earn the most money off of hip-hop music? Yeah, they do. And why is that though? Why? They position themselves in such a manner. It's not because these people like Leo Cohen and whatever, and they are the ones that are in the deal. They're the ones that are putting the financial acumen. It's not just because they position themselves. It's because we are creating in an oppressive context. They already have the cards to do it. Yeah, and I'm saying that. So wait, but we made, as artists in America, these men make a whole bag of money. You're telling me that they couldn't have formed, a writing company to rival Sony or Interscope or whatever, with all of the money they've got, all of the influence they've got, the reach they've got, they could not come up to the same footing. As one of these Jewish men. That's what I was going to say. Michael Jackson what? I know the Michael Jackson conspiracy theory. Nah, stop here. Stop here. I can't be a damn flipping. It's not. Let's not make an excuse for that. Let's start talking about R. Kelly. Let's do what Michael Jackson. They're putting away R. Kelly.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch this one up, I think, just because the wind ain't really doing the conversation justice. I'm gonna run this one from C4 Blaster, Youth Street Violence and the accompanying theme music from COE. Big up to the people still locked in, and big up to C4 Blaster for requesting this one.
Same brush if you're not loud enough to differentiate yourself between Anjem Chowdhury and yourself.
Yeah, but that's fake narrative. It's a fake narrative about people, and then we have to do something to correct that narrative.
I gotta go. I'm coming back next week.
Big up, my brother.
I'm coming back next week, I promise you. I'm not running away.
No.
Do I get love? I'm getting love from the people. Is that how it is? I'm getting love from the system.
You come and represent yourself.
I'm getting love from people, yeah? I'm getting love from people.
You represented yourself. You represented yourself.
I'm getting love. All right, respect. I appreciate it. And next week, we have another discussion again and see how we move forward. You get me? Love. Respect. My battery died and everything.
Alright. Yeah. So man come here trying to represent.
What's the fallout from that then?
All I know is that I wonder about these guys sometimes, man, with how they're thinking and what narrative they're coming with, because it's something that I see getting pushed, regularly from a certain demographic which he doesn't want to relate himself to, which is the white right wing, and you just want to deny certain things that have happened in the past which affect us today, and that's really what this is about for me.
I think, do you know what it is? For me, the way I see brothers like that, I see them as, might sound wrong, but I see them as ill-informed, in fact. Ill-informed, and I feel like you just need to give man, deliver the information in a certain way. Because I'm telling you, bro, if you met me 10 years ago, I weren't on this wave.
Come on.
So I'm saying, I would have been tailing certain man in the park, with my head down, acting all humble, and you know what I'm saying?
Because it's things like when he spoke about his dad working in the mines. When I hear things like that, that tells me you're pushing something that I think deep down you don't believe yourself. Or he didn't, don't get me wrong, obviously his dad will come in and explain or say, yeah, he didn't receive no racism. But the reality is, enough people experience it. How can you just take this one story and everybody else is saying something else? It's crazy to me. It's crazy to me. So, and then start saying how everyone's got the same chance and fair chance, and you've got a chance to do this, a chance to do that. Bro, let's talk about what they done when they come to these other countries and murdered and raped and enslaved people. Let's talk about that same legacy living on today, which they refuse to apologise about, refuse to even acknowledge. There's people that even say what you're talking about, you live in the past, as a victim mentality. That's why I'm glad he took that back today, because that victim mentality word pisses me off. Yeah, we're standing here addressing the thing, bringing up the issue, letting them know, and now it's to say you're a fucking victim. Victim and what? Yeah, bro, trust me. Man has to come down here, fam. I got work fucking 5 a.m. I'm still here now. I'm gonna be fucked in the morning. But bro, when I hear that victim thing, it does me. It pisses me off. We're actually out here trying to do something. We've all come here trying to get this content onto media to let them start realising the reality of what our youth are going through, what some of us have gone through. But luckily we're still here on the other side of it. A lot of our youth ain't made it this far. And it's still going. Because they want to talk about knife crime and demonising all our youth, in these areas, when they don't want to talk about all the youth clubs, all the facilities, all the people getting, all their dads, some dads getting locked out over the pettiest of things. He didn't want to deny, he didn't want to admit that black people get a worse deal in the justice system. Do you see what I'm saying? This is deep to me, The same things that are happening in London now, in other places in the world have been crushed. So they're not trying to make out this a massive problem with this knife crime and all this business, but in other places it's been remedied. And I could go to Glasgow for that evidence. They have to go out of the country, off this landmass.
What's going on in Glasgow?
So what happened in Glasgow, they could sort out the knife crime, that here is still continuing and it's a big issue, and even a youth died just yesterday. One of my son's school friends. You get me? This is deep. And these people want to come in and deny it, fam? Bruv, gets me freaking mad. Gets me mad.
And the marching thing for the knife crime is... But you know what though? On the knife crime thing, for me, I despair when it comes to that thing. Like, I'm saying to man, listen, and correct me, this is what I'm here for. Because I think if the youth start getting head tops by the judge on the road, this knife crime thing's done. I've just seen it from... obviously I'm a Muslim, so obviously Sharia standpoint, you'll get your head.
But I believe that's part. I think that's part of the actual plan. That's what's been executed. So what happens is these youths go down this road that a lot of them don't want to go. Ask any youth, they don't want to go down this route. Some of them might do. Some of them might become from fucked up backgrounds, whatever, and this is what they're on because it's all that they've known. But most of the youths will not be on that. They don't want to go this way.
Most of them.
So them going court is actually part of the plan. They need them to go there because now they've got a justification for them to be into servitude. Someone's getting paid on that. So what it is, it's us getting to them. It's when they see things like this, content like this, and they realise, raw, I know my man. I see my man back in the day and blah, blah, blah. My brother told me whatever. And they realise what man's on. Hopefully it might make them realise that, boy, it's a trick. That little dibby money you're getting going across county lines, if I go and get a job in a trade, I double that money straight away. I don't need to go and do some dibby nonsense, having to look over my shoulder, or someone, I'm stepping on someone else's toes so they're coming to bore me up. Nah, you can go work, get a trade and do what you've got to do.
See, obviously, I'm not a supporter of the drug trade, but there's a one thing of doing, that's non-violent crime as far as I'm concerned. But the bit that I'm worried about is how a man can stab a 15-year-old with impunity, like someone else's child, they raised them, put resources, and you feel no way to take that youth from their parents. What is the mentality of such children then? They don't even, and it's a bad thing.
They're going to want to protect the life you live is not the life the child is living. They're living in a war zone.
Yeah, man.
So what do you think? Oh, it's easy, nice living.
No, man, it's real. No. It's to the real, to the
some
point.
of them cannot walk out the door. Some of them cannot go to the shop.
Can't go
because they're in county lines. They're not county lines of enemy fire.
So what's the culture that's promoted that?
That's the thing.
What's the culture that's
this
said,
is what's happening.
if I step over the road,
British
the Queen
culture.
Street, brother.
Yeah, British culture.
My grandfathers and forefathers never knew that thing. You know what I'm saying?
Back in the day, man,
let me tell you something. There was, in most areas, most people might not agree with me, but for a kid where your elders either locked up, they can't get a job, what way have you got out? Some people are starving. You tell them they can't do something.
Okay, you're going to sell drugs. You're going to sell drugs.
Bruv.
So what, you're going to kill someone for money? Is that?
Bruv, I'm just saying. Bruv, the reality is some people it's not like, I choose to do this. This is they have no option.
That's all they've got.
That's the reality of their life. Go down these hoods. That's the reality of their life.
And also, I think what's happened now, we're losing the alpha males, in the thing where it used to be even like a fisticuffs. If you got a problem with someone, you're standing face to face with someone, and even if they pull out the borers, man standing face to face. Because that's how I remember back in the day when I was a youth. I watched a big man fight, a big Jamaican man fight. Yeah, they pull it out, and they're standing looking man's eye. Now these youths are turning around, walk away, and as the youths running away, that's when they're chasing the youth down. That's the difference. That's why we're watching a lot of these youths dying with impunity, and the young ones as well. You get me? And it's a very scary thing because it's the whole mentality's changed.
13-year-olds carrying Rambo knives. These things, these zombie knives.
Why are they carrying it? That's my whole point.
They live in a war zone.
No, war zones don't just produce themselves. Why are there's a root cause? If you're saying you ain't got pee, I understand that. Go out, grind, shop, food, whatever you got to do to make your pee. What the element of violence is what I'm questioning. Why must you take someone else's child's life? Even when we was I think it's protection a lot of time. And they're being programmed with the media, the music, and I'm not putting the blame on that.
Movie, or in a, so you're already programmed, you're playing games that are similar.
When America wants something, what are they going to do?
Contribute food.
When America wants something, what are they going to do? They're going to bomb you and kill you. So even the kids are not watching this. The kids don't watch the news. They don't watch the media.
It's a mentality.
Now, another example of that is what I'm saying is we're all built with that warrior mentality, especially these young ones. But if it's not directed in the correct way, do you get what I'm saying? Like my brother's got good energy or whatever and thing, and he thinks he's doing the right thing, but it's not directed in the right place. That's all. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's all we need to look at with our youth.
So channeling the energy in the right way.
Because the energy is an energy. It can be negative or positive. It's how you choose to use it. So we have to start trying to tap into our youth and give them something to look up to, something to realise that this is better than what man's on, or this gives me a better feeling.
Change the environment.
Because otherwise,
the environment, you'll change their mind.
We can be the greatest of angels or the worst of devils. And that's what it is. No balance.
You know what I've noticed as well? Like you were saying, back in the day, you had this phenomena of Rah, you know that brother there, he's serious. You know that if there's arbitration or whatever, say, rah, we're gonna go to this older. These days, these youths don't respect the older brothers.
Yeah, man, it's changed, fam.
I'm saying, man that even have stripes on the road could end up all getting shanked because everyone can get it these days. You know what I'm saying? So it's, my first thing that I thought is these youths are mentally tapped. Like they're out, like.
It's being perpetuated by the society that we're in.
Like
we got to think of all the things that are happening to the youth. For one, we know that the music selected by the publishers portrays a certain lifestyle. We know there's people who push out decent music with a decent vibe, even just a dancing vibe. But what's the one music here? I read a story about the One Extra thing, yeah? So there's a little kerfuffle at that One Extra in Birmingham, I think it was. Yeah, the other day, yeah? And bruv, they said, I think someone got bored or whatever. I don't think it was as serious as they tried to make. They tried to make out it was a lot more than what it was. But the one guy said, you got to understand where it's coming from. They played the Gun Lean song, yeah, you know that Gun Lean tune, like 4 or 5 times within an hour. Now, this is a catchy beat, yeah? This same beat could have a different context of lyrics, and you're going to be like, yeah, this is right, but listen to what it's saying. Listen to what the main words in the tune are about. This is what's getting pumped into your youth. You got to remember, at that age, between 6 and 14, you're just absorbing. You're absorbing, you're taking it all in. Us, man, now, we ain't going to be swayed that easily. But these youths get it. So things like that, the music, yeah, the sort of stories that they hear, the ones who they push to the front who are successful, only sportsmen and musicians. Where are the people that who are financially literate, the businessmen, the ones who, you know what I mean? Because those youths on road shotting, a lot of them, man, could go straight onto the other side of the law. Transferable skills. You get me?
I never, ever take no artist as no idol or someone to look up to.
But that's what they do. They push
it forward.
Now,
but I'm saying, like,
in more time, even these artists that they're looking up to, they're not living that life.
They're not.
And I've seen a thing in like the videos that I've seen. It's just like big mansions, and I know you can't afford the whip.
You've rented. They're doing a video in the yard, and the yard hasn't even got a picture of one of your family members on there. It's got no furniture of yours on there.
Man's out there in Miami.
They buy it. They buy it.
My man's from Church Road.
Any other sides, you get me, anywhere.
That's it, bro.
But this is what I'm saying. I'm not putting it all onto them or saying it's all the industry's fault, because we have a part to play in it. When these youths tack onto this music, you like it, you start buying it, so that's what they sell and push. And it's not even the youths here who buy the music, it's those youths up, those white middle class youths in Yorkshire and that. They're the ones who actually spend the money on the grind. They're the ones who go pay big money for the raves. I remember we used to listen to Tim Westwood back in the day, yeah? I didn't buy one single Tim Westwood mixtape on that. Man just would dub that one time, record this, record off the radio. Yeah, I got this recording. We didn't do that.
My sister works with D Double sometimes, innit? So I see some of the concerts and that, and I remember seeing a snap, and I'm saying, bruh, there's just bare white people in the front row.
Knowing the words
stuff, man.
All the
lyrics. Cool. It's like a Jay-Z concert. It's mad. But Wembley on shit. You know what I mean?
Even back in the day when man used to listen, when I was younger, we used to listen to Locks, Guns Up and them. Them tunes used to pump man up. Not to the extent where man's going.
We've got to realise, and I want to bring this to the forefront, is that the music has been weaponised, yeah? You got to understand, there was a time when black people weren't even allowed to use the drums. They knew, on the slave ship, they had so many revolts, they had to loud drums. They said, louder drums. We don't even know when these are just dancing just to keep things, the temperature up. Or they're getting ready for fucking war.
That reminds me
of the deal.
The new roots, the scene on the boat car.
They knew the deal. So where they got that off,
coming out?
They tried to control it.
Netflix.
A new one. I can't even watch it.
I stopped after I saw man got a head top. But
it's hard. But then with the music, so they even teeth the rock and teeth the other music that we created. But you got to remember our generation of hip hop. Now, our generation, I don't know everyone else says, but I know back who I'm talking about. You got to remember the times of first the message type of music coming in, which was talking about the youth, talking about the hardships of the life, living in those sort of places. And that music was really reaching out, because remember, as soon as it gets into mainstream, these white people lap it up because it's something that they haven't got. The same thing some of those white people hate about us is what they don't have. And I'm not just saying all white people, I'm saying all that demographic. They haven't got what we've got. Even though they're saying that we're poor and living in these shitty places, they would love to have the vibe that we have when we have a little party.
That's what I'm saying. There's a reason why man in the hoods in Calcutta and Bombay are doing street dances that they find from African culture, and still trying to tell man now we don't don't do it with you because you're black. You know what I'm saying? It's a long thing. And then the music went on to a next stage where they even started teaching with the music, because a lot of youth were they're still living such poverty that they're having to do whatever they need to do to survive, that the music started to teach them about themselves and started to gain the knowledge of themselves. So we start talking about Public Enemy and all these type of people. You got to remember, realise what happened. Soon as they started blowing up KRS-Ones of the world, and started really pumping a good message out, was the next big group that come out was NWA, NWA, who was still really quite good for the black community in a sense that they were still expressing the story of the reality that was happening. But a lot more aggressive. They made sure they cherry-picked the type of music to then still influence the youth out there, because they realised this works. That's why we've got to a state. Let's just skip forward all the way past all the different types of music, because the 90s, they started changing it to a drug dealing type of thing. That's what it was in the 90s, with the locks and that, as you spoke about. It was more of a drug dealing thing, so a man was there trying to make money by any means necessary. But then what's happened now? It's changed to a drug taking culture. They flipped it on its head, and now you got into the drug taking and also the grime and the drill, where it's about holding your territory and all this business. They are controlling a lot of the youth with the music. Only now when you're older will you be able to see it, but they're not going to see it because they're in it. The same way when we were in it, those times of Public Enemy and all that, we were in it. But now they're using it as a weapon, and that's what's happening now. They make music which has got that vibe feeling, and they got stuff which is dancing stuff. They must have stuff which is talking about the girls, must have stuff talking about making money, but which is the one we always hear about the most? The one which is the violence. That's all they've got going on at the moment, you get me?
I can say a couple of things. Like, for me, like the music thing, when music is an expression of art, it's an expression of form, which is a very powerful thing, you know. So what people realize, when I was growing up, music was expressing the way life was, where I couldn't say for myself, but songs where I was listening to were expressing for me. But what I saw in the last 10-15 years, where was now the arts was becoming the
mouthpiece.
The mouthpiece
I hear you saying,
No instruments, no more.
So now, like, it's not like instead of like where music was, I see something, I report it. Now we're gonna give you something, now you do it.
Yeah, it's reverse, like it's controlling, it's influencing.
It's like life imitating art.
That's what it is. But the other thing as well, it's about where I live and the ends I live. It's like, gang is standard in it. So for me, it's like we as parents have to do more for our kids. But if you allow your child to listen to Ganlin, do not cry about the fucking consequences.
Exactly. And it's another thing as well.
Your kids only imitate what you do. If you are, as an elder, listening to certain music, you can't be listening to
fact, that's another big point. I want a lot of people to realise that this is the first generation where parents are listening to the same music as their youth. Look what's happening on the streets. Think about it. It's the first generation in as long as it can go back, where adults, mums and dads, listen to the same music as their children.
So if
you not see that it's having some sort of effect?
If you see along, you got 2-year-old,
people that go to the club, they dance to the same music and the same beats.
5, 8, 10,
it's never been done before. We've never seen this before, and that's what's happening now. And then look what's happening on our streets now. This is deep. They've kept people at a certain level, and it seems like this is the level they're happy with. That's what it seems like. We got to be very careful and start taking responsibility for our youth, ourselves, and also our bedrooms youths. Our friends youths. You got to start taking responsibility. When you see them on road, you got to hail them up every time and speak to them. That's what I do. I talk to them.
One good quote.
That's what you got to do.
I have one good quote is don't become a product of the environment. Let your environment become a product of your thoughts. FTK, that's what we do.
FTK, baby. For real, man. I just feel that guy, a lot of these people, they seem to turn up strategically. Black Van Man, they turn up strategically. Don't
do a whole build up by the store, man. He might end up doing a full 3.
I think they know what they're doing. I can't lie.
Because it's almost like they're trying to catch us out. He's half white. People don't never listen to him.
And he's with his mixed children.
So of course you're gonna feel a certain way about get out.
What it is, that's why they latch on to this thing about when you say white people this, white people that. This is just a label. It's like when they even say black or African. I know some people don't subscribe to all these labels, but we've got to say it for you to understand. When I say white, I'm talking about that 1% at the top, because I guarantee you, none of them are black. I can guarantee that. But they might be white or whatever, or from whatever, I don't know. But the fact is, that's what we're talking about. And I can tell
especially with my mixed race brothers and sisters, that they actually take offence to that. But you got to remember, you're banning half of them.
Yeah,
and that's what it is. They got to realise it's not personal like that.
My missus ain't even trying to hear that side.
Yeah, exactly.
What's
just denying?
Unless he told me.
It's detrimental if you're just coming here to
But he has to keep emphasizing the point. I've got a mixed race dad.
Yeah,
I've got a mixed race kids. What are you then?
So like, why do we need to hear this?
The wickedest thing is, man's going on like man's got a blended family, so
so what? It's like so. I don't. That's why I realise it hurts them in a certain way, and I think sometimes when I see black people,
my whole family's black.
it buns them.
I have no idea on my side.
Why does it bun you?
Why does it matter? Like, how's that relevant?
Yeah, and this is the thing. I hear people keep saying that sort of thing, and I'm wondering why. Why do they keep coming out with that? And I can sense where it's coming from, and there's a lot of
there's a hurt there.
Yeah, you know, it's like
maybe it's guilt.
Maybe it's I think so. That's what I was gonna say. It's hurt. But I think it's a bit more of the guilt. I think that's where it comes from, and they keep mentioning it because
why should I feel bad?
And it was in the past. I'll forget about it.
Like you don't know. When he goes home, what I think, I think he's gonna love his circle is
so predominantly
South London. We know what that can be.
Yeah.
You can live in the ends, but it can be white ends.
Yeah.
I like.
Yeah.
So I think for him, that's the situation. So the nice if you grow up around and listen to people saying.
I just think that it's
just living in denial, isn't it?
I think these people come along and they enjoy this sort of thing. I ain't gonna lie. Because some of the arguments are just whacked.
Personally, I hold hope. Personally, I hold hope for this brother. I hope. I might be wrong, but I hold hope for him.
He's in denial because the day is gonna come when they're gonna say, you guys are out, and they won't say to you, "Hey, wait, mate, you're mixed race." They'll say, "You first. You look exactly like them." So you better be careful. That's what I'm saying, innit?
Yeah, I just feel that some of the arguments they put forward, I hear what they're saying. Like when they start talking about Tommy Robinson not being racist and all this stuff, I think, bro.
Or even just saying, "Oh, Trump is just the president of America." You know what's wrong with that? It's like he's more than that. You know, so to just like reduce it to that, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, but also as well, you know the fact. For me, like I was saying, I don't even business if he's racist or not. But the rhetoric is dangerous.
Yeah.
Now the thing is, the people underneath him though, I think a lot of them are misled.
Yeah.
I think a lot of them are people that
easily led as well.
Right. Yeah. So they see the news and the news just it makes it look like the whole country's getting taken over.
Yeah.
Because they show you London and they say, look, all this multiculturalism, adverts. But then they don't tell you, bro, 88% of the country is still predominantly white.
Exactly.
It's still predominantly white. You just have to leave. Just to leave. Let's go to Cornwall and all them places down there.
And you won't see another black face from time. Right. One of them ones when I used to travel around for work and I was all over UK, I was UK wide. Bruv, there was times when you don't see a black face for 3 days, and I see a black face, and the brother can just sense it from me. And he's like, yeah, we say. I'm like, yeah, we say, man. You're like, come. And they'll say, my college people say, do you know him? And I just lie something. First I used to say, no, I don't know. But I used to say, yeah. That's just my brother, innit? Because that feeling can't be taken away, and that's what we've got to realise about us as family, even across the world. We are connected, fam. No matter how you look at this, how you want to see it, what you think, what you label yourself as, where you're from, where you're born, we are connected. That's why when he started talking about even being born here, I was baffed by that. Because, like, bro, you're obviously not I'm not going to say indigenous, but you're not of this society. It's like a lion. If a lion, they brought the two lions over to the UK, and that lion's born here, it doesn't make it like some English lion. It's still an African lion, whatever it is. Yeah, it's just that it's born here, fam. And that's what you got to remember. We got to realise that these people have done a madness to us for hundreds of years. And now when it suits them to do the kumbaya thing, it seems like everyone should just fall into place. No, that's not how it's going to be. We need to start looking out for our youths and us as a family, each other, and not bun them out, but don't focus on them. I don't focus on them. I focus on me and mine and us. You get me?
Yeah. We need to build ourselves up. And that's why sometimes I do have a little bit of a problem when it does sound like sometimes, even myself, sometimes I watch myself and I think, you complain too much. Like, we need to start, and that's what we need to do. The next stage is for us to band together.
And that's different to victim mentality. Complaining, I think, is you've got justification on something that may have happened that you're moaning about. But that victim, I think, is a different thing already, because that's when it's just, oh, woe is me, everything is so bad. No, complaining means, you might sort of even sort of learning something you got to deal with. You're like, oh shit, yeah, fuck this, fuck that. But now you can then do something about it. Whereas the victim is like saying, oh, it's me, you sort of got to do something for me. I'm the one who's suffering and blah blah. And that's why I hate when I hear that victim mentality talk. It pisses me off.
I think he's probably used language. And I know as well, sometimes our brothers are overly passionate.
Yeah.
So the way we come at man, because when we first started the conversation, Matthew and Ras was going at him.
Right.
And whilst I might be inclined for certain people to come at them like that as well, I was like, let me see if changing up the way we talk to man changes up the conversation.
Because by the time I got there, it seemed like you were having a very good dialogue.
Right, yeah, so I pulled him through.
But that's you, that's you, that's your essence. That's your essence.
Yeah.
That's your essence though still, because I think you definitely come with that aura. And it's a very, very good thing, because it just shows again, we don't have the hate that they want us to have. That's why when they start talking about black man being racist, bro, man can't be racist. If anything, all I'm doing is battling the racism that I've faced for how long?
It's reactionary.
Reactionary, and that's a big deal. So when you try to drop that, tarnish us with the brush that of the people you support,
like we just put out one day and said, yeah.
We don't have the power.
We don't have that in us.
And let's talk about that description of racism. Let's be honest with it. Don't try and dismiss it, because you know it's very true. I cannot decide what happens in some random white brother's life, but I know a lot of these white people can decide what happens to a lot of youths in London. A lot of these guys.
You know the issue I have with that narrative though is we have Africa full of politicians. They are in charge of the systems that are there.
I wanted to speak to you on this one still. I want to speak to you on this one still.
My thing is, see them, those bears there, they have the ability to be racist.
They do.
Regardless of whether they have been or not.
What we got to not negate is that we are still, it's still neo-colonialism. As much as we see our people at the top in sort of presidential positions, there's still someone tugging on them strings. This is the problem. And whether they do that blatantly through just straight control or with money through like the international money fund, this is what they do. So what happens is, they only have the people selected who they can control. And we can get evidence of this, where you got people like Mugabe, who was put in because they wanted him to be in, but as soon as he started standing up for his own, he's the most hated. They started sanctioning, you know what I mean, fucked up the economy. This is facts. You know, a lot of people would deny it again, but it's a problem I have, because you see the facts and you still deny it. Cognitive dissonance. And this is what's annoying, because people like brother will come here, stand there for how many hours and just deny. You know what I mean? They want to talk about forget slavery, forget that, it's all in the past, forget race. Bruv, this is within our lifetime, within your parents' lifetime that this shit was happening. How are you going to just say, just forget it? The Nazis, who a fraction, and I'm not saying one tragedy is worse than the other, it's all tragedies and they're all disgusting, but those Nazis, now we talk about how the Jews were affected and how it should never happen again, and you wear something to remember it by and all this business.
And it's illegal in certain countries even, like,
come on. And then us, it's just, you don't got the same opportunities now. You should look at the disproportionate amount of us in jail. You mean to tell me that all my brothers and sisters are lazy, good for night idiots? No, some of them have made mistakes as they've done, but I know some white brothers who've made them same mistakes, but they haven't had that issue and that problem and that tarnish for the rest of their life.
You look at certain societies, and like say the Italian American, the Irish Americans. There's a lot of crime they've done in terms, but they've not been held back by it, because they have that. They're European.
Well, what happened was because at one point I believe that they were targeted. The Irish got it, Italians got it, but what happens with the European numbers? And again, this is fact, and it buns a lot of people. White numbers are dwindling. They're dying more than they're being born from natural birth. So their numbers are actually in decline. So what happened, and it's been happening over the last 100 years or so, they start recruiting other people, saying, now you're European, you're one of us. You get me? But there was a time when the English people hated the Irish, hated them. The same when the Americans, when the Italians come up, they hated them. They were all the gangsters and mobsters. But now, they're all Americans now. But the fact is, they can blend into that. And this is where the facts come in. Me and you can't go and say we're some Italian, bro. We can't go and say we're Italian. Now, I'm really Italian. I'm one of you guys. Nah, it ain't going to happen. You can see who I am. You can see who you are. And this is the reality of it. A lot of people want to deny the facts that are there, clear in their faces. One thing that Ras said as well, which was very poignant, and it really struck a bell with me, it strikes a bell with people in this park, is when he said that Muslim was the new word that for black, which is true. That's what happened. That's what it was. They started doing that. That's why where I live in East London, predominantly Asian area, lots of Bangladeshi, Indian, Pakistani, all live in that area. Women in hijabs, they started suffering. These people, they go out and people started now feeling brave enough to do this sort of stuff. Whereas black people, we've been suffering this sort of thing from day dot. Although it's very recent for them, it's still part of that rhetoric that they're pushing. And this denial of it is what winds up. That's why man had to come down there. I'm telling you, that's why man had to come down there.
And I see indications of it extending. If they're able to get what they want in terms of Muslims and immigration, it would then flip. I'm not convinced.
Yeah, I'm with you. Don't delete me.
I'm not convinced that these people are going to stop there. Muslims today, black people tomorrow, and it's always been. But the directness of it or the agenda they're pushing. But it's been powerful. It's been a powerful conversation. But as I say, a lot of these guys, we have to have these conversations with them because I believe they're here for a reason, innit? I believe that they come here and get burned out. If you notice, there's some people that come and go. There's some people that are still here. Because they stand on truth, stand on reality. You can't try and say man's dropping some hate speech. What he's trying to say, you're being racist. That's their angle to try and say it's hate speech. Bro, we don't do the hate. What black people need to start doing, and I say it's down the count, what black people need to start doing is loving each other. That fucks up the agenda. It fucks up the agenda if you start looking at your brother as a brother. It took me time to even speak to Eesa, you know, but I knew he's my brother from time. Like, it's like where we're always talking from time and everything's going. And I speak to him, I've got to speak to you. And the times I wanted to, didn't get a chance to. But finally it's happened, and even now this first conversation on camera, because we need to just start realising that we are one regardless. That's why when I hear them divisive talks of people saying that because they're Muslims, they can't sit at the table, this is fucking bullshit, fam. This is bullshit. And them people there, you're the one who's going to have to fuck off. Them people, them divisive ones are the ones who are going to get chopped out. When you watch them brothers there anyway, bruv, you don't see no value that they bring to the community anyway.
Come on.
They're the same people who want to ride off the coattails, get fame. That's what it is. Like, but I don't even want to give energy to those people.
None at all. But show that we got to love each other.
But 100, bro, that is so strong because it messes up the whole system. When we show each other love, you see all types of people get uncomfortable.
Come on.
To the point where I'll start saying, Easa's on the nationalist thing now with the black people and all of that thing. You know, so, bro, if that's what you see,
that's up to you. I don't
care, bro.
But trust me, my family, my children, their children are going to come first because that's what we've done in the past. We've tried to
bring everybody in and
what
can't
it
do
it leaves us at a loose end. So now we've got to start realising there's nothing wrong with putting your brother first, yourself first. When the Jews do it, it's no problem. When the Italians do it, it's no problem. Even when the English do it, it's no problem.
It's a natural thing, though. That's what I was trying to say to the brother is, he was saying, I went to Tommy Robinson first, and I was trying to say to him, bro, it just naturally follows that you would start with your own community first, innit? You fix what's at home, and then you go out into the world, innit? And if you see that your brothers and sisters are like some mad numbers, disadvantaged in comparison to the rest of, then you got to realise
there's something up
wrong.
Something's up here, and we might have to do something to counteract that.
And it might have to be something drastic.
Come on. And I'm down with that.
Listen,
I'm down with that.
It's natural. It's not it's only because of, I feel, that the brain work that we've been through, where you see your brother on the road and you feel it's ops. This is something that I observed from young. I used to think to myself, a bunch of genuine, maybe middle class white people walk past each other.
Don't feel no way.
I used to feel the energy.
I used to say it like this. This is what I used to do. Is like I used to use this example of my bedroom who said he ain't racist. A black brother. I said, look, check this then. Let me tell you how you're racist. You go to a cash point. And there's 5 drunk white brothers. You go to cash point, you take your money out. Do you even feel anything from them? Do you even care what they're doing? Even though they're drunk and loud and everything.
You don't feel threatened at all.
But now, you're walking there and you walk past some black brothers who've got their hoops up and they've got their jacket on the side of the wall. How do you feel now? And you're a black brother. How do you feel now? That's the racism in you, family.
Covering the pin.
That's the racism. And their brothers are there, and man might even have a book. Man, everyone's got a newspaper, but you're still feeling heat. That's the racism in you as a black person. That's why I say I don't even care about the white people. You got to look what's happened to us as a people.
100.
You get me? And we've got to start fixing those issues.
That's why the token brothers there. Like, if man can reach them, man should try and reach them. But if not, they need to be like, expelled because they're the ones that.
No, I hear you. It's good to speak to them because there's people that think like my man. So if you're then not able to articulate some sort of rebuttal so he can even understand, that means there's another 10, 20 people, 30, 100 people who have understood, hopefully. So yeah, no, I hear that. Don't get me wrong, I hate that energy sometimes and all that business, and it gets me vexed, but nah, man, it's the right thing. It's the right thing. The right thing. But yeah, man.
Books. Love all the time, bro.
Every time, my brother, and I'm glad that we've had this proper conversation, man. And yet still to sit down and eat, though. Yeah, still yet to sit down and eat.
Big up the people there,
yeah, man. Contact over everything. Big up.
From your man, say it straight. Man, don't listen to BBC. Man, don't listen to ITV.
Like the summer campaign.
No, he's trying to be good today.
Yeah.
He's pretending. He's pretending.